Have you ever heard of someone who could grow an entire garden full of overlords? Our story begins with Dian Yuan, an ordinary gardener in the Purple Cloud sect. His life, already unfortunate because he couldn't cultivate, became even more tragic when he was betrayed by those closest to him. But destiny smiled upon him in the most unexpected way: a gardening system, an ancient seed, and the appearance of Fei Hua, the demon empress from the central continent. What kind of seismic shock will the fated connection between a mortal and a demon empress create in this cruel world of cultivation? Join Emote Review as we explore this surprising and dramatic story. Like this emote. The story goes that in the beginning of the Zhuanyuan world, demonic beasts ran rampant and resources were incredibly scarce. Later generations called this the primordial era. After 10,000 years, spiritual energy was restored. The demon and human cultivators rose one after another, and the Zhuanyuan world welcomed a prosperous era of cultivation. However, greedy cultivators were everywhere. They plundered spirit herbs and spirit soil, harming the demon clan for resources. Cultivators didn't hesitate to wage war against the demon clan, and if they couldn't conquer something, they would destroy it outright. Now sects sprout like mushrooms, resources are depleted, and demonic beasts are beginning to recover. If you want to cultivate in this dangerous world, you must rely on a sect, and this desolate era is also known as the Primordial Age. Right now, in the spirit herb garden of the Purple Cloud sect, a man-eating plant is flexing its muscles, about to swallow its victim. But in the end, it had to spit the boy out. He was shot out by the man-eating plant, flying straight to the ground. He is an outer sect handyman disciple of the Purple Cloud sect. Named Dian Yuan, he was covered in the man-eating plant's slime, his whole body aching after being vomited out. Dian Yuan helplessly mumbled, "I was just fertilizing you."
Yeah, was it really necessary to get so angry?
Dian Yuan looked at it helplessly and said with frustration, "Looks like I'll have to wait until you're in a better mood." Then a clear voice called out to him, "Senior brother Dian, time to eat." That girl is an outer sect disciple of the Purple Cloud sect named Himiao. She called to Dian Yuan affectionately, "That's right, you have to eat well to have the energy to work." She raised her arm, waving, "Hurry over, hurry over." Dian Yuan, soaking wet and bearing the beauty of hard work, replied, I'm coming right now." Himiao cheerfully listed the dishes she had made. "Today I made your favorite durian chicken leg, senior brother Dian." Hearing about his favorite dish, his face lit up with excitement. "Awesome!" Seeing her senior brother drenched in sweat, she said caringly, "You should wipe your face first." Dian Yuan nodded in agreement. Then he patted the girl's head and replied politely, "Sorry to trouble you." Himiao replied happily, "It's nothing, let's eat." His name is Dian Yuan, and as you've seen, he's just an insignificant handyman gardener in the sect. In his previous life, he was born with crippled legs. In the end, his only companions were flowers and plants. But even though his body couldn't travel far, deep in his heart, Dian Yuan nurtured a dream of cultivation, of roaming freely through the myriad worlds. However, it all ended one day when he was listening to the radio. "Today is a very lucky day for Sagittarius. Good fortune is coming your way." Hearing that, he exclaimed joyfully, "Great!" When he opened his eyes again, the scene before him had transformed into the world Dian Yuan had always dreamed of. Looking at his perfect body, Dian Yuan was overjoyed. "This is it," he shouted. "I can cultivate now." At the same time, a woman stepped out of a spatial formation and asked coldly, "What is that lunatic screaming about over there?" A fellow sect disciple replied, "Who knows? He's probably gone mad from wanting to cultivate so badly." Meanwhile, over here, Dian Yuan was resting his chin on his hand, listing the coolest cultivation paths. Should I be a handsome sword cultivator or a magnificent key cultivator? Or maybe a mysterious talisman cultivator would be cooler. But when he thought about using his cultivation knowledge to show off his skills, Dian Yuan discovered he was just a good-for-nothing without a spiritual root. Dian Yuan was demanding to cultivate. When the sect master told him, "You don't even have a spiritual root. How could you possibly cultivate?" He wondered if it was heaven's way of compensating him. Although Dian Yuan didn't have a spiritual root, he possessed an innate sacred wood body. Because of this special constitution, he could communicate and connect with plants. The sect master made an exception and let Dian Yuan manage the precious spirit herb garden. Dian Yuan looked up at the sky. Sweat trickled down his face as he thought, "Has a Zhao gotten this big already?" However, this constitution also had a side effect that gave him a huge headache. It caused Dian Yuan's body to emit the strange fragrance of spirit herbs. Himiao couldn't resist getting close to him, nuzzling against him naturally. Senior brother Diane, you're so amazing. You've been working for so long, but you still smell so good. Dian Yuan replied awkwardly. You don't have to get that close, you know. He giggled mischievously. Heh, I can't help it. Dian Yuan just smiled and patted her head, thinking about this little junior sister, hey meow. The people who joined the sect with you. We were all from the same hometown, and after we joined, we became the closest of friends, Hamiu said with a smile as he patted her head. Heh, what can I say? Being close to my senior brother makes me smell nicer too. Seeing Hamiu press even closer to him, Dian Nguyen gave a helpless laugh. I really don't know what to do with you. Just for a little while. Senior brother Dian is the best, Hamiu replied. Hearing this, Dian Nguyen indulged her, letting her rest her head on him as he thought, but a life like this really isn't so bad. Just as he was holding Hamiu, a cold voice rang out, Dian Nguyen. It startled him. Huh? The voice belonged to the eldest senior sister of the Purple Cloud sect, Wen Yu. The sect master told you to manage the spirit herb garden. Yet here you are slacking off. Are you asking to be punished? Din Nguyen gave a forced laugh, gently patting Hamiu awake before replying, Ha ha ha, I'll get to work right away. Senior sister, please don't be upset. Junior sister, hurry and wake up. Sleeping soundly on Dian Nguyen's lap, Hamiu asked, Is it time to eat already? Looking at Wen Yu, Dian Nguyen broke out into a cold sweat. I'm so screwed. Why did I have to run into this woman of all people? I heard she's famous for her strict punishments, the one person in the Purple Cloud sect you should never cross. Just as he had that thought, Hamiu scowled and stood up ready to defend Dian Nguyen. Senior brother is just a mortal senior sister Wen Yu forcing him to work in the middle of the day. Are you trying to work him to death? The words struck Dian Nguyen like a bolt of lightning. His face paled as he thought, We're dead meat. Wen Yu glanced at them nonchalantly and replied, Tending to the spirit herb garden every day is junior brother Dian's responsibility. Besides, I believe junior sister also has sect duties that have yet to be completed. Am I wrong? So what are you doing lazing around here? Hearing such harsh words, Hamiu continued to argue back. Coming here every day just to trouble senior brother Dian. Could it be that you look down on disciples with weak cultivation like us? Say what you will, Wen Yu replied calmly. I am merely fulfilling my duties as the eldest senior sister. Burning with rage, Hamiu shouted, I absolutely will not let you bully senior brother Dian. Seeing things get tense, Dian Nguyen tried to stop her. Junior sister, don't be reckless. Just as he spoke, Wen Yu moved like a flash of lightning, zipping past Hamiu and striking her in the back. You don't know your place. Hamiu coughed up a mouthful of blood after the blow. Dian Nguyen rushed over in a panic. Junior sister, are you all right? Hamiu coughed weakly a few times. I'm all right. Seeing her covered in blood, Dian Nguyen whirled around to face Wen Yu. How could you strike a fellow sex sister so heavily? She replied softly. I was only fulfilling my supervisory duties as the eldest senior sister. However, I hope that in the future, you too will fulfill your own sect duties. I do not wish to find you having a private rendezvous during work hours. Do you understand, junior brother Dian? Hearing those cold words, Din Nguyen was furious, but he could only grit his teeth and endure it as Wen Yu flew away. I know how to handle this. Dian Nguyen helped Hamiu over to a tree to rest and bandaged her wounds. Luckily, the injury isn't too serious, Hamiu said. That harsh woman? And what right does she have to be the eldest disciple of the Purple Cloud sect? Din Nguyen tried to calm her down. Don't say that. The eldest senior sister is just very principled. When our sect members are in danger, she's the first one to rush in and help. Hamiu retorted angrily, That woman treated you like that? And you're still speaking up for her. Isn't she just bullying people because she has a high cultivation level? If I could get my hands on a grass that automatically raises my cultivation level, I would never let her act so outrageously. Dian Nguyen listened to her intently. When he heard her mention that kind of grass, Din Nguyen thought it over. A grass that automatically raises cultivation, huh? Actually, I think I can help you get one. Hamiu was stunned. Senior brother Dian, you're not thinking of stealing it, are you? Din Nguyen quickly shushed her. You can't tell a soul about this. At that, Hamiu coughed a few times and looked away. Then Tian Yuan reassured her, in short, just leave this to me. Suddenly, Hamiu threw her arms around him. Senior brother Sob, you're so good to me. Tian Yuan was startled. Hey, don't wipe your snot all over me. Up above, Wen Yu had observed everything. Her face darkened, filled with killing intent. The scene changes. At sunset atop a mountain, a person steps out of a spatial formation. It was Tian Yuan quietly sneaking out. He thought to himself, feeling at ease, at this hour. Everyone should have returned to their caves to meditate. Doesn't that mean the spirit herb garden will become my personal domain? Or so I hope, but I should still water the spirit herbs first, then apply the beast-sleeping talisman. As he spoke, Tian Yuan pulled the talisman from his robes and slapped it onto a bronze censer. After he stuck it on the censer, flew up and began watering the spirit herbs. Tian Yuan quickly bent down to pull some weeds. These weeds have been growing so fast lately. At the same time, he carefully glanced over at the sign that read, Self-Moving Grass Hall. Seeing his target ahead, Tian Yuan began to act. Oh dear, why are all these self-moving grasses growing in such a jumble? If they grow too crowded, it'll affect their growth. Just as he finished picking one, the master of the Purple Cloud sect, Zhenren Ziyun, appeared. Is that so? Why was I your master not aware of this? Caught, Tian Yuan stammered. Sect master, I was just helping you cut away the weeds, would you believe me? Zhenren Ziyun said nothing, merely pointing a finger at him. He asked, Now that we have both physical and material evidence, you wretched beast, do you still dare to make excuses? Tian Yuan was bound tightly and lifted into the air, screaming, Ah! He ordered the disciples, Kill him for me. Hearing this, they raised the clubs already in their hands and replied in unison, Yes. Zhenren Ziyun let Tian Yuan fall freely to the ground, still clutching the spirit herb. Those fellow disciples followed the order, beating him relentlessly. Tian Yuan was in agony, but he gritted his teeth and held the spirit herb tightly, thinking, Junior sister, As Tian Yuan was being beaten, to a bloody pulp. He Miu ran out of nowhere, crying, Wait a moment. She ran over and pleaded earnestly, Master, please stop hitting senior brother Tian. If you keep hitting him, all his limbs will be broken. Seeing her, Tian Yuan was surprised. Junior sister, Sure enough, in the end, it was his junior sister who would plead for him. Her eyes turned cold as she said, Master, please, for your disciple's sake, grant senior brother a death with his body intact. Those words, coming from the person he cared for most, stunned Tian Yuan. He cried out in disbelief, Miu, what do you mean by that? Her expression was as cunning as a fox. It means exactly what it sounds like. Senior brother Tian Yuan. She walked over and whispered in his ear, If you must blame someone, blame yourself for being too slow. I hinted at it so many times before. But only now do you steal a single self-moving grass for me. Don't worry. After you die, I will manage this entire spirit herb garden. You won't need to trouble yourself with stealing spirit herbs anymore. Tian Yuan's heart felt like it was shattering. He growled her name, Miu. He was stunned, his heart and body racked with pain. Why? Tian Yuan could see the sect master coldly ordering, Deal with him and bury him over there. Burying a sacred herb body has the same effect. Miu exclaimed with excitement, Master is truly wise. Just then Wen Yu appeared. Master, wait. Although Tian Yuan is at fault for stealing a spirit herb, and it was all instigated by Miu, Zhenren Ziyun asked, Is that so? Wen Yu explained, It is indeed true. I just used a recording stone. Hearing this, Miu hurriedly tried to clear her name. That's not true, Master. Your disciple has been framed. It's obvious she and Tian Yuan are in a shady relationship, so she's targeting me. The Zhenren was intrigued. So there's something like that going on. She hugged the Zhenren's arm. Of course, Master is the best to me. How could I ever steal from you, Master? The Zhenren laughed gleefully. The only thing you know how to steal is my heart. My sweet little treasure. Wen Yu saw that the situation was beyond resolving. She summoned her sword. Master, if you insist on ignoring black and white like this, then this disciple will no longer remain in the Purple Cloud sect. As she finished speaking, her sword flew around Tian Yuan, forcing the other sect members to back away. It lifted him up and then flew off with Wen Yu. Miu pointed upwards. Master, they're getting away. The Zhenren replied calmly, My dear disciple, don't be hasty. Tian Yuan, with his remaining strength, looked up and asked, Sister, why did you save me? Wen Yu said, Focus on taking care of yourself first. You fool, you don't even know if you'll live or die. Zhenren Ziyun unleashed his power. My Purple Cloud sect is not a place you can just come and go as you please. A giant phantom hand reached out to grab Wen Yu and Tian Yuan. Get back here! The power erupted, burying the two of them. Miu praised him continuously, Master. And you're so mean. Didn't you say you would leave his body intact? He laughed heartily. Ha ha ha, it was my fault for not being able to control my power. Mew Mew, don't worry. A sacred herb body is still useful even if it's smashed to bits. Chen Yuan lay dying within the rubble. I thought, you're not dead. Did Wen Yu use her own body to protect you? What a pity. You're just a mortal, and with a wound like this, you're not far from death. If I could do it all over again. She'd probably save me again, wouldn't she? So you're about to die again? That damn He Meow. So she's been tricking you for this long. And that vicious old bastard? Did they really have to hunt Dian Nguyen to the very end? On what grounds do you and Wen Yu die while those scumbags get to live so smugly? If I could go back in time, I'd deal with that wretched pair with my own hands. Just then, a system panel suddenly appeared. Congratulations, host. You have entered a near-death state and awakened the Heavenly Sect's gardening system. Dian Nguyen's eyes opened, filled with hope. System, what took you so long? System response host has successfully awakened the system. Awakening rewards will now be distributed. Dian Nguyen thought it was perfect timing. He received a 100,000-year-old flower demon seed. The system appeared and asked, the flower demon seed requires the host's blood essence to activate. Do you wish to use it? Dian Nguyen replied, do you even need to ask? Immediately, the flower demon seed appeared and awakened. Flower demon seed activating. At that moment, He Meow was still fawning over her master. That thief Dian Nguyen has been killed. Master about managing this spirit herb garden? He pulled her into a hug with a lecherous smile. Don't you worry, from now on, Midi, this place will be entirely your responsibility. But while burying Dian Nguyen, one of his fellow sect members saw something flash on his chest and wondered, what's this? This must be something good. I'll secretly dig it out first. I can't let that bitch get her hands on it. The other disciple shouted greedily, wait, save a piece for me. Just then he used his shovel to lift the brightly glowing flower from the middle of Dian Nguyen's chest, but before he could grab it, the flower bloomed, knocking both of them away, leaving the Zhenren stunned. He shielded himself from its influence. The Zhenren realized it was a celestial phenomenon. A dazed He Meow asked him, what is this? Why did such a large flower suddenly grow in our spiritual herb garden? He replied, for a celestial phenomenon like this to appear, there's absolutely no mistake. This is at least a 10,000-year great demon. It's like the 4 major cultivation realms of our human race, heaven, earth, mystic, and yellow, which are equivalent to demon apprentice, demon king, and great demon. The demon race is also divided accordingly. A 10,000-year spirit demon, a 100,000-year great demon, a 1,000,000-year demon king, and a 10,000,000-year demon emperor. Even ordinary spirit herbs under 100 years old can be cultivated. If I could refine this spirit demon, I daren't even imagine. He Meow listened for a moment, then replied hesitantly, Master, the appearance of this spirit demon is no different from a human's. How can it be refined? The Zhenren frowned and replied, what nonsense are you talking about? A spirit demon isn't a shapeshifter. The spirit demon gradually appeared with human-like legs and a sizzling hot, perfectly proportioned body. She was a demon from the central continent named Fei Hua. She slowly opened her eyes. This emperor has been in a deep slumber for a very long time. The Zhenren broke out in a cold sweat, his jaw dropping in shock. This is a spirit demon that has taken human form. Just how powerful must this great demon be? Fei Hua summoned a morning glory transmission flower to her side. She took it and said, Fei Hua, demon emperor of the central continent, calling the 4-quadrant demon emperors Mei Wei Zi Yue Wu I Yu Yu. Answer if you can hear me. As soon as she finished, her expression changed. Her eyes turned ice cold and her face filled with killing intent. She crushed the transmission flower in her hand, saying angrily, could it be that those wastes actually died in that great war? Seeing how powerful this great demon seemed, the Zhenren hurriedly ordered, you two, what are you standing there for? Go and capture her for me. Hearing this, they were dumbfounded. Us capture a great demon. The Zhenren pushed them forward and commanded, this great demon has just awakened and she's a plant-type demon at that. Her combat power can't be that strong. Capture her and I will reward you handsomely. Hearing this, the two ran forward and replied, yes, sir. Fei Hua rested her chin on her hand, watching the 2 small fries approach her. Well, whatever. I've always felt that on this continent. This emperor alone is more than enough. At this moment, the 2 small fries following the Zhenren's orders were clumsily climbing up from below to approach Fei Hua. Fei Hua snapped her fingers. All humans deserve to die. Brightly glowing flowers sprouted from the surrounding vines. One of the sect members wondered, "What are these?" The other looked closer and recognized them. "These are peonies, ugh!" Peonies then sprouted on his body, enveloping him and trapping him inside. Seeing this power, Fei Hua wondered to herself, why does it only have this little power? Why has my strength become so weak? From a distance, the Genrin used a magic circle to defend himself. Such terrifying power. I'm fundamentally no match for it. So he resorted to the most cowardly plan of the 36 stratagems. Running is the best. But how could he possibly escape a great demon? Trying to run. The Genrin turned around to see that Fei Hua had already caught up. He panicked. It's too late. Thinking he was about to get pulverized, the adept let out a preemptive scream. Fei Yao was baffled, not a single scratch. She decided to activate her strongest move and try again. Damn it, I must have been asleep for far too long. I can't control my power properly right now. If I just focus a little, it should be fine. She unleashed an orb of energy with all her might, attacking that old geezer. Die! But the attack kept coming, forcing him to block it in a panic. It worked. Fei Hua was confused. My power. Why did it suddenly vanish? What in the world is going on? Seizing the opportunity, he flew right at her. Ha ha ha! I knew it! You've only just awakened, so your power must still be weak. The adept launched an attack. Take this. Purple miasma from the east. Overwhelmed by the adept's power, the great demon screamed in pain. Ah! The adept grabbed her by the throat and threatened, "Let me refine and absorb you. I will surely break through to the celestial realm." Fei Hua, at a disadvantage, wondered to herself. It wasn't easy to awaken. And now I'm going to die so senselessly, at the hands of a mere human. Meanwhile, Dian Nguyen had woken up. Watching the battle between Fei Hua and the adept, he remarked, "This flower demon reward of yours is way too small." She was all powered up for a second, and now she's getting pinned to the ground and thrashed. The system replied, "This is a gardening system. The host must make contact with all cultivated spirit plants to achieve maximum efficacy." Dian Nguyen tensed up. "So you're saying I have to run up there and touch her?" Dian Nguyen dashed madly towards the adept. "Give her to me?" Seeing him, the adept pulled her away. Dian Nguyen thought, "Well, I'm dead either way. I'll trust you this one-time system." The adept struck him. "You wretched pest!" Dian Nguyen had almost touched Fei Hua. "Damn it! Just a little bit more!" He screamed in agony as the adept pressed the sword tip against him. "Don't just stand there gaping. Quickly take my hand." Seeing this, the adept attacked. "You little brat, still not dead. It seems I'll have to send you on your way myself." Fei Hua wondered, I am Fei Hua, the demon empress of the central continent. A mere human wants to hold my hand. Fei Hua seethed with conflicted anger. Humans truly are incorrigible. You're at death's door and you still dare to look down on me. But then she looked closely at Dian Nguyen, trembling as he awkwardly reached for her hand. And yet the scent coming from him is strangely reassuring and comforting. My body is moving on its own, wanting to get closer. But there's no way I'm letting him touch my hand. So she stuck out her foot instead. Finally, Dian Nguyen made contact. He touched Fei Hua. He did it. System notification. Congratulations, host, for successfully making contact with the spirit plant. A brilliant aura erupted. The adept was stunned. What is this? System notification. Awakening. Innate divine ability. Dian Nguyen saw a dazzling light burst from his body. He stammered, embarrassed. The ability you mentioned is planting this great demon inside my stomach. What? Meanwhile, Fei Hua was startled. How did I get in here? But at that very moment, Fei Hua's power began to surge. What's happening to my strength? Analysis. The host's cultivation Dantian is drawing origin energy from the spirit plant. The adept exploded with rage. You charlatan, playing tricks and stealing my spirit plant! I'll rip her right out of your stomach. Dian Nguyen stumbled back in terror. System, help me. Just then the human-plant fusion was complete. A giant armored figure appeared. The ground at the gate of the purple cloud sect shattered, sending earth and rock flying. The adept was dumbfounded. How is this possible? Din Nguyen's plant person form was unlocked. He cursed, Damn it all. Couldn't they have come up with a better name than this? Seriously. Facing Dien Nguyen in his plant person form, the outer sect disciples hiding behind a boulder couldn't help but exclaim, "Heavens, the power of that single strike is immense." Another chimed in, terrified, "Is that really the same useless Dien Nguyen we all know?" He stood there imposingly, his deep eyes lost in thought. Dien Nguyen whispered with a hint of regret, "My control over this power is still far too weak." To think that one strike could be so far off. Staring at where the attack had landed, he still couldn't believe it. "I can't believe it. How could I miss from that close?" As soon as the words left his mouth, a sharp slash flew straight at Ziyun. He roared in fury, veins bulging on his forehead. "You damn brat! Don't you dare underestimate me!" He drew two blades, but Ziyun couldn't withstand Dien Nguyen's relentless assault. A critical blow landed, and he cried out in pain. A thought flashed through Ziyun's mind. The power this brat is wielding is terrifying. What in the world happened to him? He gasped for breath. After blocking just one of Dien Nguyen's attacks, a long fissure had split the ground before him. Dien Nguyen sneered, his voice dripping with provocation. "Old man." He then shot forward to attack. So fast he couldn't even react. A powerful kick slammed into Ziyun. "Take that!" The kick sent him flying, and Dien Nguyen immediately charged after him. The sharp tip of the blade pressed against Ziyun's neck as he declared with determination, "Today I will use your blood to forge my path of defiance." Blood gushed violently from the corner of Ziyun's mouth. As he tried to cough, he suddenly burst into a long laugh, confusing Dien Nguyen. "Ziyun!" he called out. Ziyun unexpectedly released a burst of energy, sending surrounding rocks flying, then spoke with contempt. "You're nothing but a brute with no technique, just swinging blindly, and you fantasize about using my blood to consecrate your sword?" Behind a purple mist, his figure emerged, looking far more muscular and powerful. His eyes glinted with intense focus while Fei Hua stood there, her face filled with shock at the scene before her. Ziyun stood tall, his energy erupting violently, then unleashed a powerful sword technique. Ziyun's sword-style Purple Heart's demonic note. Dien Nguyen shouted in astonishment. You're a total freak!" He charged forward, attacking relentlessly, each strike like a deadly drill aimed at him. "Enough talk. Let's see your moves." Dien Nguyen quickly assessed, "Fast indeed. But can your Purple Heart's demonic note really affect a plant person like me?" He easily raised his blade and blocked Ziyun's attack. Ziyun sneered. A shadow flickered as his blade, like a drill, bored deep into Dien Nguyen's sword. In his mind, a voice suddenly echoed a warning, "Dodge quickly." But Ziyun was a step faster. His blade whistled past Dien Nguyen. Ziyun sighed, his voice full of regret. "What a pity." He pressed his advantage, causing his mask to crack and shatter. Dien Nguyen was surprised. "This is—" Ziyun sneered. "So what if a piece of trash like you holds great power? The knowledge and experience I have cultivated over many years is a gap you can never hope to bridge. Let's see how long you can last." He continuously swung his blade in a fierce assault. He struggled immensely to defend himself. Fei Hua gritted her teeth, her voice tinged with bitterness. "As expected of a mere mortal. Even after obtaining my power, you don't know how to wield it. Could it be that I, this empress, must die again right after awakening?" A stream of light enveloped her. Fei Hua was stunned. "This is—" Dien Nguyen broke into a smug, proud smile. "I've written dozens of cultivation books. This is the first time anyone has ever said, and that I have no knowledge or experience in cultivation." Dien Nguyen continued, "It's nothing more than using the body of the sword to create an impact with spiritual energy that's several times higher. Did you really think I couldn't do it?" Ziyun gritted his teeth. "To think you actually blocked it." The two swords clashed, sending sparks flying. Ziyun realized the hidden danger. "This sword, it can actually regenerate? I was careless." He continued, "That's right, and now it's even harder." Fei Hua, witnessing the scene from the side, screamed in horror, "Can't you two fight with a little more dignity?" Dien Nguyen blocked the attack and continued to lecture, "All the techniques in this world are merely creations based on the external release and internal convergence of spiritual power," he replied, slightly stunned. He unleashed his finishing blow with a thunderous roar. "Watch closely. I'll call this move Death Beneath the Peony." A torrential blast of power rushed towards Ziyun. He was knocked back by the energy, crying out in pain. Fei Hua stood there, looking up at that giant mutated peony. She exclaimed in astonishment. He actually used the characteristics of a plant to rapidly increase the absorption rate of spiritual energy, and then released it all in one breath. She looked over at Dian Yuan, realizing this boy's application of spiritual energy is even greater than my own. He stood there musing to himself, it's almost time. The peonies shot out powerful beams of energy. Ziyun, not understanding what was happening, cried out in alarm, but the peonies had already surrounded him. Trapped tightly in the encirclement, a loud explosion rang out as dust erupted violently. He Miao watched the scene from a distance. She was extremely worried. Oh no, this old man is actually no match for Dian Yuan. Does that mean my previous sacrifice was all for nothing? Ziyun lay there trembling. Spare me. Wait, for the sake of our master-disciple relationship. How about you spare me just this once? Dian Yuan looked at him coldly, his entire body exuding a thick, deathly aura, like a wrathful demon waiting to claim its prey. Ziyun trembled and pointed towards He Miao in the distance. He continued to beg, just spare this old master and the spirit herb garden will be yours from now on. That little bitch He Miao will also be yours to do with as you please. Dian Yuan said nonchalantly. All right. I can choose not to kill you, he said joyfully. Really? He stood there tempting Ziyun. Our master-disciple relationship was ruined by that bitch. Kill her and there's still room for us to reconcile. A purple energy flared up around him. Ziyun snarled, indeed, that vile mouth spouting nonsense and slandering others truly deserves death. He Miao cried out in fear, Master. No, I don't want to die. She hastily tried to run away, but it seemed He Miao had no resistance at all. Effortlessly, Ziyun rushed forward, his hand piercing through He Miao's body. Her face filled with disbelief as she stared at him. Ziyun said softly, For your master's life, you'll have to make a small sacrifice first. That brat can't possibly maintain that state forever. I will avenge you later, Fai Hua said somewhat emotionlessly. You soft-hearted little brat. To make such a promise, you have no idea how sinister humans can be. A dense light radiated from her body. Fai Hua glanced over a bit puzzled as the peony blossoms shot out like arrows piercing through Ziyun. His entire body silently fell dead. With nothing to support him, his body crumpled to the ground. Ziyun's eyes were wide open. Before he collapsed, he said regretfully, So, you tricked me. Din Nguyen stood there, smiling brightly with a hint of cunning. I've written so many novels. Did you really think I wouldn't know what kind of character you villains have? Suddenly, a stream of pink energy flew toward him and into his belt. A giant flower appeared before his eyes. As the flower slowly bloomed, she sat there. Swinging her legs, she said, Not bad. You humans are very interesting. Kiss my foot. This is the chance I'm giving you to become this empress's exclusive slave. Fai Hua slowly extended her foot toward Dian Nguyen. He reached out with a trembling hand. Then suddenly Dian Nguyen slapped her foot away and yelled angrily, Idiot! A mere summoned creature. Wants to be my master. Are you trying to rebel? Fai Hua was a bit stunned. Then she suddenly lunged forward, pointing straight at his face. You goddamn bastard. Do you believe this empress will strike you down or not? Dian Nguyen looked at Fai Hua with disgust as powerful streams of energy continuously poured out of her. Her face flushed as she said angrily, You're just a tiny human. A tiny human, Fai Hua thought to herself. What's going on? Struck by a tiny human, why do I feel so scared? She suddenly realized something was wrong. Why is his entire body filled with an aura that I crave? Fai Hua suddenly grabbed him by the collar and pulled him close, saying, Get over here. Din Nguyen was a little dazed. Before he could react, she had already pressed her lips to his and licked them with her tongue. Oh no, my body is completely out of my control. Dian Nguyen's face froze as if he were looking at something disgusting, and he screamed, My first kiss! His cry echoed throughout the mountains. In the silent space, Dian Nguyen frantically pushed Fai Hua away. His face flushed red with shock. He exclaimed, What is the meaning of this? All of a sudden, Fai Hua was still not satisfied. With a dazed expression, she thought, It's still not enough. In her mind, all she knew was that getting close to Dian Nguyen would replenish her weak body's energy. Suddenly, Fai Hua raised her hand. With a loud smack, she slapped Dian Nguyen across the face. Hold still. Don't even think about running. Then she moved forward and placed a kiss on his lips that was far more intense than the last one. Dian Nguyen was terrified. He felt as if his entire body had been sucked dry. He struggled to choke out, "I almost suffocated." Fai Hua was in no better shape, panting for breath. She said with difficulty, "That should be enough." An indescribable emotion perhaps welled up inside Fai Hua. She suddenly screamed, "You damned human! What kind of dark magic did you use on this empress? Dispel it now. If you don't, I will absolutely make your face black and blue." Dian Nguyen, stunned, immediately retorted, "You're clearly the one who forced yourself on me. I didn't do anything. Besides," he moved closer to Fai Hua, his eyes filled with confusion. "You just showed up and stole my first kiss, you pervert," Fai Hua replied, flustered. "You think this wasn't this empress's first kiss as well?" Both of them were stunned. Still in disbelief, Dian Nguyen asked, "A 10,000-year-old great demon? And that was your first kiss?" She yelled angrily. "Is that any of your business?" Fai Hua roared, her voice filled with rage. Absurd. To think this empress would make a fool of herself in front of this tiny human. "Even if you did save me." Her anger flared, and the power of the peony surged around her body. The flower suddenly transformed into a fiercely erupting ball of fire. "You're better off as a dead man who can't talk." Dian Nguyen was stunned and said awkwardly, "Hey, don't just silence me like that." A warm energy suddenly radiated from Fai Hua, causing her to pause and calm down slightly. "My power. It's actually recovering. Could it be because of this human?" She pondered while watching Dian Nguyen's retreating figure. Dian Nguyen tiptoed away, muttering, "A good chance to slip away." Fai Hua bit her lip, thinking, "What's more if I just get a little closer to this human? My body can't help but crave to absorb his power. How despicable." She shot vines toward Dian Nguyen, considering I'll have to kill him sooner or later anyway. I might as well use him to recover a bit more power. The vines quickly wrapped around him, pulling him back toward Fai Hua. Dian Nguyen panicked and struggled. "Don't mess with me! I'm your master!" She suddenly controlled the vines to rip his shirt open. "Quick, quick, give me more!" "Dian!" Nguyen tried to struggle, screaming, "What the hell do you want from me? You—" Fai Hua leaped up and continued to gnaw and bite his body, her greedy eyes unconcealed as she mumbled, "Still not enough. Still not enough." Dian Nguyen pleaded with difficulty, "Please, don't bite. Down there anymore." She looked up and said greedily, "Power. Let me recover even more power." He groaned in pain. "Ah." A look of disappointment flashed in her eyes. "What's wrong? If you've got the guts, then let this empress handle this. But it's only been a moment and you're already spent." Dian Nguyen's face was pale and gaunt like a 1,000-year-old mummy. His voice trembled as he stammered, I'm out. Not a single drop left." Fai Hua looked up disdainfully and said, "I'll let you live for now. But don't think this is over after just one time." "You beast," he said in despair. She immediately retorted, "This empress is a plant." Fai Hua calculated to herself, "With my current rate of recovery, just one fight would use it all up. This human can't die yet." At the spatial formation array, hurried voices rang out. "The formation is repaired!" An urgent voice shouted, "Quick, quick, get inside!" An outer sect disciple spoke up. "Something's not right." The other replied, "The sect master's spiritual pressure has vanished." An outer sect disciple up ahead shouted, "Second senior brother Tan Than, the sect master's disciple is here. Come give him a hand. He is the second senior brother of the Purple Cloud sect Tan Than." At the mid-stage of the Huan realm, she stood watching the crowd from a distance. She raised a hand, gathering energy, and roared, "Where did this stinking insect come from?" Dian Nguyen quickly intervened. "Wait a moment." Fai Hua looked at him slightly confused. Dian Nguyen thought to himself, "Most of the disciples in the sect are innocent. I can't let her go on the killing spree." She yelled, launching a kick at Dian Nguyen. "Get lost!" A cruel glint flashed in her eyes, her hand twitching slightly. "If you don't get the hell away from me, I'll kill you too." Fai Hua unleashed a terrifying wave of power that warped the air around her. She said with annoyance, "I missed." He sat there and said calmly, "Don't forget you were grown from within my dantian. Without my cooperation, you can't even dream of using your power as you please. Let them go." Before Dian Nguyen could finish, a fist flew out and sent blood spraying from his mouth. Her expression suddenly darkened. Her lips pursed, and then she abruptly clutched her stomach and burst out laughing. "It seems your own kind doesn't appreciate your kindness. As expected, the human race is nothing but ungrateful beasts." Tan Than stood there, stomping on him while jeering, "You all were right. This guy just fought a huge battle with Master Purple Cloud. Now he's incredibly weak. Make me the sect master, and I guarantee you'll all be handsomely rewarded." Cheers erupted. "Thank you, second senior brother Tan." Another outer sect disciple asked hesitantly, "The sect master. Was he really killed by him?" Someone replied decisively, "Without a doubt." Dien Nguyen clutched his stinging cheek. "Are you insane? I'm trying to save you all." That bastard Tan Than laughed sinisterly, his words dripping with sarcasm as he repeatedly stomped on him. "Die, just die! Once you're dead, not only will the sect master position be mine, but that long-legged woman by your side will be mine too." Phi Hoa's face twisted with rage, and she screamed, "You stinking insect! Watch your filthy mouth!" "Who said I'm his woman?" Suddenly, Dien Nguyen coughed up a spray of blood. As if psychically linked, she also spat out a mouthful of blood. His face contorted fiercely as he raised a rod towards him. "Using my ultimate technique, the Purple Cloud Rock Finger," he finished. "Now say goodbye to this world." Dien Nguyen thought, if this attack lands, I'll really die. The power from my previous flora form. I still have a little bit left. I have to use that move. Suddenly, a dazzling blast of power knocked Tan Than high into the air. He screamed in pain. The surrounding disciples cried out, "Senior Brother Tan!" One of them asked worriedly, "Senior Brother Tan, are you all right?" Tan Than staggered to his feet, suppressing the pain. "I'm fine. That was all bark and no bite. He's just putting on a show. He can't even break my defenses." Another disciple chimed in, "As expected of Senior Brother Tan." Dien Nguyen smirked at him smugly. "It wasn't just for show. After taking that move of mine, are you feeling a certain warmth in your lower abdomen?" Tan Than almost agreed, but then he realized what was happening and shrieked, "Don't tell me. It even feels kinda pleasant. My pants." He stood there frozen. A dense green light radiated from his body as he explained, "The spirit energy of your Huan realm is just energy you absorb from the outside world and store in your Dantian. I just need to strike your Dantian with a bit of my spirit energy to create a special effect. I call this move the One Chi Dam Breaker," Tan Than said smugly. Still clutching his rod tightly, he said, "All you did was make me unable to hold my piss. Besides, your last attack only had the power of the initial Huang stage. The winner will still be me." Dien Nguyen didn't bother to explain further and launched a fatal blow toward him. "Since you won't listen to reason, I'll beat you till you piss your pants." Tan Than's face was twisted in a crazed glee, no longer focused on the fight as he rejoiced. "The sect master position is mine." The two clashed, neither giving an inch. He repeatedly used his familiar techniques like the Purple Cloud Rock Finger. Not to be outdone, Dien Nguyen shouted, "One Chi Dam Breaker Purple Cloud 3 Blossoms. One Chi Dam Breaker Purple Cloud Galaxy. One Chi Dam Breaker," Tan Than said with contempt. "Is that the only move you know?" He continued to use the One Chi Dam Breaker technique. Phi Hua stood by, watching the two fight with disdain. How utterly boring. Then she suddenly noticed something unusual. "It's just, he's human, yet he can use demonic power to cast spells. If you won't let me use my demonic power, then this Empress will just give it back to you. Don't you dare disappoint me, little human brat." He nimbly dodged an attack, grumbling, "Purple Cloud." Just then Dien Nguyen rushed up from below with a wicked grin. An opening One Chi Direct, Tsum. He felt something was wrong as he saw the demonic energy fluctuating wildly in his palm. "This isn't right." But it was too late to stop. Dien Nguyen landed a direct hit on Tan Than. The blow left his body covered by only a single scrap of cloth shivering in the wind, but a dense demonic power still radiated from his hand. Dien Nguyen's last attack had shaken the entire mountain. The outer sect disciples trembled. He actually made the mountain explode. What terrifying magic! Tan Than scrambled to his knees, trembling as he begged, "This lowly one was blind. Sect master, my lord, please spare my life." But he ignored him, ordering coldly, "Don't call me sect master. Go tell everyone to disperse. The Purple Cloud sect is gone." Dien Nguyen mumbled, "I almost killed someone. Luckily, I managed to control that sudden surge of power. It must be her doing," he shouted towards Phi Hoa. "Give it up. As long as I'm here, don't even think about causing any trouble." She turned and left, shouting, "Shut up!" Phi Hoa recalled Dien Nguyen's expression as he said, "Don't come bothering me." She mumbled, "That move of his just now. Not only did it take my demon power and let him absorb it, but it also enhanced it. It was the same before. After he fused with the flower demon's power, he was actually able to create his own spells. That's truly unheard of." Fa Hua recalled her ancestors sensing the change. She whispered, "My clan's demon power is inherently strong, but we can't control it precisely. When fighting against the cunning human clan's spells, we often end up at a disadvantage. If our clan's demon power could be as versatile as the humans, then 10,000 years ago, the victor would have surely been us." Dusk gradually fell at the foot of the mountain. A shovel was digging relentlessly. Dian Nguyen collapsed to his knees, exhausted, and said, "System, is there really no other way?" A cold voice rang out. "Correct. The system has exhausted all its resources. The host's senior sister's body will decompose within 1 week underground." A girl lay there covered by leaves like a sleeping princess. "Sis." Dian Nguyen's face was sorrowful and full of regret. "Even though we only knew each other for a few years and we don't have many good memories, it's only today that I realized I've always misunderstood you. It turns out you weren't targeting me. You were always the senior sister who wasn't afraid of power, who was always upright. Is there really no other way? No, this is a cultivation world. How can there not be a single life-saving heavenly treasure unwilling to accept reality?" Dian Nguyen narrowed his eyes with determination and called out, "System." Then he straightened his back. "System, find me every life-saving spiritual herb in this world. Find them for me." The system immediately replied, "Searching." Dian Nguyen exclaimed excitedly, "As expected of the excellent gardening system, so you do have an identification function. My 15 years of accumulated experience writing web novels wasn't for nothing. Found 15 results for the host." It began to display the spiritual herbs the master requested. Mycelium cordyceps, a material used by the corpse sect to refine zombies. 3 blue-silver emperors. The consciousness of the blue-silver emperor plant will seize the body of the deceased. Green ant agaric. If the host consumes it, they will hallucinate that the dead have returned to life. Upon reading this, Dian Nguyen quickly ordered, "Hold on a sec." A second later, his smile vanished and he cursed, "Damn it, what kind of idiotic methods are these? Get serious." The system panicked, tried to calm him down. "Host, don't be hasty, I'll explain." While he was angry, Dian Nguyen's gaze suddenly shifted elsewhere. His eyes widened in surprise. He was glued to another spiritual herb, immortal lotus root. Before the body decomposes, implant it into the deceased. The deceased will retain their memories and personality, and be reborn as a lotus flower demon. After reading the information, he thought to himself, this looks like the only way to preserve senior sister's consciousness. But if I do this, she won't even be human anymore. After a moment of hesitation, Dian Nguyen brushed his thoughts aside and ordered, "I don't care anymore. Let's save her first and figure out the rest later. System, quickly mark the location of the immortal lotus root for me." But the system's reply made him freeze. "This system does not have a spiritual herb location function." At that, Dian Nguyen threw the system panel to the ground and roared. "Then what good are you to me?" It shrieked, stopping him. "Host, stop, although this system cannot do it. There is someone who can sense the location of spiritual herbs." And so after that, the system then fulfilled its purpose by guiding Dian Nguyen. Meanwhile, in a forest filled with mystical specks of light, a foot landed softly on a branch. "Is this the place?" It was Fa Hua. She scanned her surroundings and clicked her tongue. Her eyes glinted with annoyance and disgust. Fa Hua mumbled, "Damn it, this tiny Ziyun sect is actually hiding so many spiritual herbs." Suddenly, Fa Hua heard terrified screams from behind her. "Help!" A few people were struggling to escape from the spiritual herbs. They shouted in panic. "These spiritual herbs have all gained sentience. I've been poisoned. Why didn't anyone say it was so dangerous here?" Fa Hua walked forward with a mocking laugh. "You lot want to have a taste of cultivators do you good. After you digest them, grow up quickly and become this emperor's strength." She didn't lift a finger to help anyone, only asking leisurely, "But then again, your complexions aren't too bad. Could it be that the one who cultivated you is skilled in the art of gardening?" As she was pondering, another voice suddenly called out, "That would be me!" Fa Hua immediately glanced back toward the source of that annoying voice. An arm reached out from the bushes. A hurried voice commanded, "Everyone stop! A jiao xiao hua xiao mi!" Dian Nguyen rushed out looking exhausted. How did this garden turn into a primeval forest? No eating people allowed. He walked over to the sentient spiritual herbs and coaxed them sweetly. Be good now. Spit them all out. Fai Hua playfully twirled a lock of her hair and said with amusement, Interesting. I didn't expect the spiritual herbs to obey you. Besides the 4 demon emperors and myself, you're the first. Din Nguyen let out a hearty laugh and said heroically, Of course! Don't underestimate the gap between us. Just as he finished speaking, a spiritual herb opened its mouth wide and chomped down on half of his body. He yelled in a fluster, Achow, what are you doing? Seeing this, Fai Hua's face filled with disgust. To think he'd actually name these spiritual medicines that don't even have proper consciousness. How nauseating. She then turned to the men who had just been attacked by the spiritual medicine. These brutes clearly came back to steal your spiritual medicines, and yet you spared them twice. Just keep them and use them as flower fertilizer. Threatened, they immediately started crying and begging for mercy. Dian Yuan, save us again. It was all the new saint's provocation. Where is the new saint? Get out here and take the blame. After they'd been screaming for a while, one of them shouted, The new saint has bailed? Dian Yuan, having just escaped a Chow's slobbery mouth, quickly spoke up. If the ringleader is already dead, then the rest of you should get out of here. Whether you live or die, I won't ask again. Then he quickly turned to Fai Hua. Speaking of which, do you know where the immortal lotus root is? She gave a sly smile, a dangerous glint in her eyes. You want to save someone? Dian Yuan nodded and replied without the slightest hesitation. Yes, to save my senior sister. She's the one who saved my life. I just need to know its location. Fei Hua stepped closer right in front of Dian Yuan. I am the ancestor of 10,000 flowers. Of course I can sense it. However, she paused deliberately, bumping her head hard against his forehead. She sneered, And why should I tell you, you despicable human, but unfortunately for you? One of them tripped and their lips met. Dian Yuan quickly pulled away and yelled, I'll do my best to help you recover your power. But at that moment, Fai Hua could only get angry and punch him. Then she cursed, Pervert. She pointed at the trembling men. Use their lives in exchange. If not, you can forget about finding out the location of the immortal lotus root. The men panicked and pleaded, Weren't you two just flirting with each other? Don't drag us into this. Dian Yuan frowned and gritted his teeth, helpless about the situation. Those guys were still wailing pathetically. I don't want to die. Please show some mercy. I have an old mother at home and I'm about to suffocate down here. Meanwhile, Dian Yuan stood silently thinking to himself. If this were a normal cultivation novel, a decisive protagonist would have already strung these minions up. But after transmigrating, how can I just go around killing people at the drop of a hat? Wouldn't that just make me some kind of psychopathic murderer? Forget it. Maybe I'm just not destined to be the cool badass protagonist of a power fantasy story. I guess I'll have to use this method. Whether he was being serious or just pretending, Dian Yuan shouted sternly, You bunch of degenerates, you all heard her right. Fairy Fai Hua wants your miserable lives. First you tried to usurp her position and then you stole her spiritual medicine. These are truly unforgivable crimes. If the perfected one Ziyun were still alive, he would have definitely chopped you into 100 pieces. But now the merciful Fairy Fei Hua needs to restore her former legion of spiritual medicines. So what should you all do? I will now teach you the methods for cultivating spiritual medicines. You must raise them to be tall, strong, and mighty. Fairy Fai Hua doesn't want to be a lonely commander after all. Isn't that right? After hearing this, Fai Hua lowered her face and said in a low voice, Very good. A second later, she grabbed Dian Yuan by the collar and yelled, Good my ass, who needs these mindless things as a legion? I was almost tricked by you, you little brat. He quickly tried to sweet-talk her. As the queen of 10,000 flowers, can you really bear to see these adorable little ones? With no one to look after them. She looked furious, but in her mind she secretly admitted they were indeed very cute. After that, Fai Hua spared the men. However, she still warned Dian Yuan very seriously. Fine then, I'll have to see the results. If these good-for-nothings can't take proper care of my things, I will absolutely kill every last one of them. Having been spared, they immediately knelt and kowtowed in thanks. Thank you, Fairy Fai Hua, for not killing us. Thank you, sect. Master Dian Yuan for saving our lives. This disciple swears for the rest of his life to work like an ox for the Dingyuan sect. Dian Yuan waved his hand dismissively and told them, All right, that's enough. Stop getting in the way and scram. If I need anything, I'll summon you. The four men immediately obeyed and turned to leave. Yes, Sectmaster. Hearing the words, Sectmaster, Dian Yuan felt no joy, instead letting out a frustrated sigh. Sigh. So I'm a Sectmaster now. Whatever, I guess this is just my fate. I've been kind enough to continue this conversation with you Phi Hoa. Their lives are already yours. Now can you tell me where the immortal lotus root is? Phi Hoa smirked, her tone dripping with threat. I'm just afraid you'll have the life to go there, but not the life to take it. Then she pictured a mystical space in her mind. No exit could be seen. It was a mysterious shrine, possibly where Dien Nguyen's senior sister was. In a pure and peaceful land early in the morning at a certain palace, an urgent voice rang out, "Quickly bring the new sign here!" That person was the man Dien Nguyen had subjugated yesterday. He was respectfully raising his hand to report, "Sectmaster, please take a look." He stood pensively examining the huge sign inscribed with 3 words, Dien Nguyen Sect. The subordinate's passionate praise echoed in his ears. This sign represents the admiration us younger brothers have for you, great Sectmaster. It's like a surging river, continuous and unending, like the overflowing Yellow River. He shyly replied to that sincere sentiment. All right then. Inside, he was actually really flustered. To think they used my name for the sect. It's truly awkward. However, I have to admit the feeling of being flattered is actually pretty great. Phi Hoa, observing from a distance, spoke with a sarcastic tone. Is this what they call getting carried away with success? This empress had hundreds of millions more male servants than you in ancient times. The male servants at the Dien Nguyen sect saw her and immediately bowed their heads. Greetings, fairy. No greetings, sect mistress. Upon hearing the 2 words, sect mistress, Phi Hoa's eyes widened and her mouth dropped open. She roared, "What?" She was so angry her face turned red. "Who's your mistress? Are you looking to die?" The men stood bolt upright, chirping apologies. Phi Hoa, still furious, continued to scold, "If you keep spouting nonsense, I'll pull out your tongues and hang them on a tree." She thought to herself, I'm just trying to get my power back. Who wants to be his Tao companion? Watching her fierce reaction, Dien Nguyen suddenly felt a flutter in his heart. What's happening? Suddenly he felt that she was actually quite cute. Phi Hoa rushed over, grabbed his ear, and continued to yell, "Wasn't it you who taught them to spout this nonsense?" He cried out in pain, "No, I didn't! Ow, 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 ow!" In that moment, it made him retract his earlier good feelings. Cute my ass. After his ear was tormented, Dien Nguyen rubbed it and asked Phi Hoa, All right. Hurry up and tell me where is the immortal lotus root." She just stood there, warning him first. I'm just afraid you'll give up halfway after hearing it. Phi Hoa looked up at the sky and began her story in a low voice. This story begins 100,000 years ago. A human cultivator with the title White Spirit Emperor suddenly rose to power and led the charge to seize my fellow spiritual herb clansmen. At that time, my spiritual herb clan was everywhere in the world. He took the kinsmen he captured and awarded them to human cultivators to be refined. At the same time, many of our enemies also became the founding basis for many sects. As Phi Hoa spoke to this point, she couldn't hide her hateful expression. Her hands clenched and her voice trembled. Among them is today's Paradise sect. It's the most perverted and evil sect. I can sense that the immortal lotus root is there. As Dien Nguyen listened, he wondered, it's been so long. How can you be sure the Paradise sect still exists? Phi Hoa explained succinctly for him. Because the purple passion mind art is a technique that the Paradise sect never passes to outsiders. With your current strength going there is just suicide. Those damned perverts, just thinking about them makes me sick. After hearing this, Dien Nguyen had to nod in agreement. They really are evil and perverted. Although Phi Hoa was sharp-tongued, she was also kind-hearted, and she advised him, that's why I advise you. It's best to wait until my power has recovered before you go. She said this, but she still felt conflicted. He won't see me as some thirsty, promiscuous woman, will he? After all, we still have to do that. But Dien Nguyen refused this help. He shook Phi Hoa forcefully and said urgently, no way. If we delay any longer, my senior sister will be done for, you already promised me. Hurry up and think of a way. Fairy Phi Hoa can do anything. Phi Hoa frowned and punched Dien Nguyen, turning him to stone. She also warned, don't get handsy. Sorry. Then Phi Hoa emphasized to Dien Nguyen, aside from recovering my power, you are not allowed to touch me. Otherwise, saving your senior sister is off the table. He raised a hand to rub his aching jaw and replied, deal. as long as you save my senior sister. I will listen to everything you say. Fei Hua was tough as steel on the outside, but inside her heart was fluttering without her realizing it. This human. Whenever he gets close, my heart won't stop pounding. I can't let him get near me whenever he wants. She tried to maintain her composure and reminded Dian Nguyen, if your strength is insufficient, there are ways to deal with insufficient strength. As long as I am here, it's not a problem. But you must follow my command, understand? He nodded his head repeatedly. In that case, I'll go prepare for our departure. A moment later, Dian Nguyen turned back to ask his subordinates, Hey, do any of you have a storage ring? The reason he asked was because he had a plan in mind. He had to bring his eldest senior sister with them so he could revive her at the first opportunity. A young blonde-haired cultivator slowly stepped forward to report. Reporting. I've brought the treasure vault of Ziyun Zhenren. Dian Nguyen joyfully strode toward him. You're here. As he walked, he thought gleefully that old geezer is a walking gold mine in every overpowered cultivation story. Fei Hua narrowed its eyes, assessing him from inside his head and making a judgment. This kid is absurdly naive. The more naive he is, the easier he'll be to control. Just be a good little puppet for this emperor. Once I find my V there, I'll have my chance to start an immortal war. Under the clear blue sky, Dian Nguyen continued his work. Getting ready to go rescue his senior sister, Dian Nguyen looked at his palm and muttered in disappointment. So, this is a marrow cleansing pill? It doesn't look any different. Compared to the descriptions in novels, he was standing inside the original treasure vault of the Ziyun sect. Dian Nguyen quickly asked the system, Can I use this thing? The system immediately replied, Host, your cultivation is system-based, so using pills is meaningless. And so Dian Nguyen decisively gave the precious spirit pill to the boy. Here you go. It's a reward for you. The boy was a bit startled and quickly asked, Sectmaster, don't you need it yourself? With a face full of confidence and a majestic gait, Dian Nguyen waved his hand and replied, This sect master, of course, has his own fortuitous encounters. I have no need for such a trivial item. After he left, the cultivators gathered to whisper among themselves. Hey, the sect master actually called a top-grade spirit pill a trivial item. What's more, he's always talking to thin air. I fear there's a mighty expert hiding in his sea of consciousness. Sectmaster Dian Nguyen's power is truly profound. Not only can he manipulate a demon emperor, but he can also be so humble, truly unfathomable. Dian Nguyen smiled smug and proud. So these tropes about the enemy misinterpreting everything really exist. But this alone won't be enough to make these fools completely submit. Seeing them chattering so enthusiastically, Dian Nguyen cleared his throat to get their attention. Since you have all peeked at this sect master's true power, I will no longer pretend. I am a reincarnated immortal. Joining the Ziyun sect was merely a step in my cultivation in the mortal world. If any of you are harboring dissent, this sect master won't even have to lift a finger. The curse I've planted on you will immediately turn you into fertilizer. The cultivators were shocked, as if struck by lightning. A curse. When was it planted on us? Dian Nguyen's eyes crinkled into a smile as he said softly, However, I'm not an unreasonable person. Distribute these pills to all the sect's disciples to raise their cultivation levels. Just a few benefits and they'll serve me wholeheartedly. These cultivators held out their hands to receive the items, weeping with gratitude for Sect Master Dian. Not only did you save our lives, you've also granted us this opportunity. Sect Master Dian is truly righteous. We will definitely put our hearts into caring for the spirit herbs and not disappoint the Sect Master's kindness. Dian Nguyen walked over and put an arm around the blonde boy from before. That's right, I have to leave the sect for a few days. What was your name again? For now, I'm leaving this place under your management. If there's an emergency, crush this sound transmission flower, and let me know. He had chosen him for a reason. This kid looks like the type who gets bullied every day. Giving him a little authority should keep these people in line. He gave a beautiful flower-like smile and said in a soft voice, My name is Xiao Meigao. But why me? After answering, Meigao thought to himself, could it be? He's already seen through my disguise as a woman. I heard people say the new sect master is an unparalleled lecher who even has illicit relationships with women in broad daylight. Is he hinting at something with me? Dian Nguyen put a hand to his chin and asked casually, Why does that sound like a girl's name? Meigao instantly froze. So I really have been exposed. Yes. But Dien Nguyen didn't press the matter. He gave an order, never mind, get to work quickly. If the soil isn't well tended, I'll have Phai Hua punish you severely. Xiao Meigao supervised them, yes. Meigao carried out his duty coordinating his brothers to distribute the benefits. Go distribute the benefits to the brothers. Brother Meigao, you always work so hard helping us brothers. Inside, Dien Nguyen chuckled to himself with relief. All right, let's see how you high and mighty cultivators like a taste of being slaves. Finally, I can have the treasure vault all to myself. Let's see if there are any weapons here that are suitable for me. The Cloud Copper Sword. Isn't that the magic weapon that old Geezer was most reluctant to use? Old man, your sword isn't bad, and now it's mine. The moment the Cloud Copper Sword was activated, small pink specks of light appeared. Dien Nguyen was delighted. Now this is what cultivation is supposed to look like. Huh? But then it suddenly transformed into a golden hoe, making him ask hastily, System, what is this? The system appeared and explained, the Cloud Copper Sword has its own divine sense, and has automatically transformed into the most suitable magic weapon for the host. Dien Nguyen refused to accept this result. He said, there must be something wrong with this lousy sword. Quick, make it change back. Who knew that as soon as he finished speaking, the hoe in his hand would suddenly move and slap him across both cheeks. Smack Dien Nguyen hurriedly rubbed his reddening cheeks. This hoe can hit people. It trembled continuously as if it was actually responding to Dien Nguyen. The system translated the golden hoe's words. It says it is not a lousy sword. From now on it is called the golden shovel, and it is very angry right now. This situation made Dien Nguyen wonder dejectedly, can I really save my senior sister with this? The system behind him gently advised, everything depends on you, host. A few days later, in a boundless desert, an object came whizzing through the air before crashing straight into the ground. Someone's angry voice hissed, Damn you, Ziyun sect! In the middle of the endless desert, Dien Nguyen grumbled while steering the whizzing shovel. It's hot enough to melt your skin off. We didn't take a wrong turn, did we? Fei Hua, sitting leisurely with her legs crossed, lazily replied, Are you doubting this, Empress? Dien Nguyen pressed his lips together, thinking to himself, We've been flying for thousands of miles and haven't seen a single soul. This Xuanyuan world is really as desolate as they say. My knowledge of this world is still too limited. I can't just rely on the information I got from that sect I took over. I'm afraid it won't be enough to establish a foothold here. I need to gather more information, and fast. As he was lost in thought, the system suddenly popped up. Report host's spiritual power is depleted. The golden shovel will be forced to make an emergency landing immediately. Huh. The sudden news infuriated Dien Nguyen. System, why didn't you warn me sooner? This system notes the host never asked. The moment the system finished speaking, the two of them went into a free fall toward the ground below. Dien Nguyen rubbed his forehead, his face scrunching up. To fall from this high and not die, I guess I've got a big fate. Just then, Fei Hua was lounging languidly in a cool stream. What's big? Her body was stretched out in the water, her legs long and fair, her face flushed red with anger. Fei Hua bolted upright and slapped Dien Nguyen repeatedly across the face. What did you say was big, huh? What do you mean, what's big? Stop! She was choking him, and he was on the verge of suffocating. Stop hitting me! It was obviously the golden shovel that used up too much spiritual power. If you're so good, then you fly it. How dare you talk back? Isn't most of my spiritual power with you already? Or what? Then all you have to do is be a good little guide. And what about you leading me into this mess? So what, like you haven't led me into messes before? As soon as she finished, the two started brawling again. Suddenly, a righteous-sounding voice boomed from behind them. In broad daylight. You dare to commit such a degenerate act? You shameless curs, prepare to die. Today I shall enact heaven's justice. But while Dien Nguyen and Fei Hua were still trying to figure out what was going on, a giant sand vortex descended upon them. We're being buried alive. Seeing this, they cheered excitedly. It worked. Serves you right. But suddenly, pink vines shot out from beneath his feet. They tightened around him as flowers on the vines pummeled him in the face, making him scream, Mercy, mercy, stop hitting me! Fei Hua finally stopped. Standing nearby, Dien Nguyen brushed off the sand, muttering, The sand got into some uncomfortable places. The guy was still tightly bound in a cocoon by Fei Hua, who then slammed him onto the ground with a thud. The moment Dien Nguyen saw him, he cursed, You've got some nerve, you little punk, trying to ambush me. He raised his voice. This daddy is asking you who the hell are you? Why did you ambush us? Start talking now. The other guy sat up, coughing dryly and thinking to himself, they're so strong, these two. They must be at least at the mid-stage of the Earth realm. I've really picked a fight with the wrong people. He thought to himself, but his hand was secretly tracing strange patterns in the sand as he pretended to stammer, well, it's like this. Well. A second later, he flung a pile of sand right into Dian Yuan's face. Dian Yuan threw up an arm to block it and cursed under his breath. An evil cultivator from the blissful union. How could we run into a bandit in a backwater place like this? In a flash, he had vanished without a trace. Only then did a dazed Fei Hua realize, hey, that thief, he took the golden shovel too. Dian Yuan quickly looked down and saw the shovel that had been tucked into his belt was gone. He couldn't help but curse again. Damn it, when did he even take it? At that moment, the bandit was gloating. Hey, got it. When it comes to escape arts, no one is my match. And now that I have this blissful token, sneaking into the blissful union will be a piece of cake. As he was smugly strolling away, one of Fei Hua's vines once again wrapped tightly around his ankle. He whipped his head around in shock and yelled, What the hell is this? Fei Hua taunted. Got you, you little artifact thief. The bandit screamed furiously in her face. Get lost, you disgusting evil cultivator! The moment he finished speaking, a loud explosion erupted from within. The cave he was in began to shake violently. The blast sent the bandit flying backward onto the floor. Dian Yuan rushed in delighted and laughed. I knew it beneath this endless desert. There had to be a hidden grotto heaven. The two of them landed gracefully and walked toward the bandit. Dian Yuan guessed, Looks like this is your little hideout. A look of sheer panic crossed the bandit's face. It's over! They actually followed me all the way to the village. I have to warn everyone to escape quickly. So he forced a bizarre smile to hide his anxiety. You two, you've got some skills. To think you dared to follow me all the way here. He tried to hide within the newly appeared green light. If you don't want to die, get the hell out of here. Thousands of my brothers will be here any second to crush you into a pulp. Hearing this, Nguyen grew tense and said to Fei Hua, There are really thousands of them. Fei Hua, get ready to merge. This is going to be a tough fight. She stood defiantly, giving him a sharp glare. Are you an idiot? The bandit pointed at the two of them and continued his threats. Soon enough, we're going to do this to you. And then that. My methods are incredibly cruel. If you don't believe me, you can go ask around about my title in the wastelands. He rejoiced inwardly, great, they're buying it. But just as he told himself that three figures suddenly swooped down from above. Big brother La Duang, we're here to help you. He looked at them and cursed out loud, Damn it! Before the three newcomers could even make a move, Fei Hua had trapped them neatly in a vine cocoon. Dian Nguyen's face darkened with rage as he growled, You rotten brat! You dared to play me for a fool, I'm going to teach you a lesson. Standing behind him, Fei Hua calmly suggested, Let's end this farce quickly. We have more important things to do. The bandit and his three underlings were tied up, unable to move. How could one heavy punch leave Boss Li Tang in this state? You scum from the blissful sect! If you have any guts, untie us and fight one-on-one. You idiot, didn't I say the green signal meant we escape through the secret passage immediately? Why didn't you listen? You always protect us, so this time it's our turn to protect you, Boss Li Tang. One of them glared, declaring frankly, Stab us, slash us, do whatever you want. We will never go back to being your human cauldrons. By the primordial goddess above you will all face retribution. Hearing this, Tian Yuan scratched his head in frustration. Stop, stop, stop! What the hell are you guys rambling on about? We're not from the blissful sect. You stole my magical artifact and now you're trying to blame me. The bandit heard this, opened his cloth bag to reveal the pickaxe, and chuckled mockingly. So you're not from the blissful sect. I thought only those perverts from the blissful sect would do such lewd things in broad daylight. Then the man bowed his head and adopted a friendlier tone. So it was just a misunderstanding. Here your item is returned completely intact. My apologies, my apologies. Hearing him bring it up again. Fei Hua punched. Tian Yuan right in the back. This is all your fault, she whispered. Ow, what was that for? Tian Yuan angrily berated the bandit. You have no real power yet, you go around robbing people. You think a simple apology makes everything okay. Dream on. The man clasped his hands and hurriedly explained, It was all a misunderstanding. I'm not a bandit, fellow cultivator. Whatever compensation you want, I will do my best to provide it. It's just that my village is very poor, I'm afraid. As he spoke, he thought to himself, it seems they really aren't from the blissful sect. Anyway, I need to find a way to trick them and get through this for now. Tian Yuan continued in a loud voice. Who needs your spirit stones? You think I'm that easy to get rid of? Then he proactively suggested a solution. You mistook us for people from the blissful sect, which is why you ambushed us, right? Tell me your purpose and everything you know about the blissful sect, and I'll consider whether or not to let you go. I'll check out what this guy is made of and get some intel. Best case scenario, I can drag this cunning thief into this mess with me. Hearing him say this, the man breathed a sigh of relief. So that's what this is about. Yes. He then began his story. A while ago, the blissful sect was based in the central city of the boundless desert, having nothing to do with our small border town. Until one day, they captured the primeval giant beast Bashya. It was deep in sleep in the desert. They used some unknown secret art to control it and moved the entire blissful sect onto its back, traveling between villages. From that day on, the cultivators of the blissful sect relentlessly plundered the resources and food of the villages. They even kidnapped able-bodied men and women to use as human cauldrons for cultivation, not even sparing the children. The Dusa clan, which has lived here for 1,000 years, was destroyed in just a few short years. We tried to fight back, but the blissful sect was too strong. We could only watch helplessly as our children were taken by those beasts. As he said this, his eyes filled with resentment and his voice grew heavy. My little sister was among them. After that, I found this underground limestone cave. I brought the survivors and the children who were used for cultivation until they were crippled and cast aside here. Meanwhile, I was waiting for a chance to rescue my sister. That's why I ambushed you all. That's the whole story. After hearing this, Tian Yuan's eyes glazed over. He wondered to himself, did I just trigger a main storyline quest? All I wanted was to steal the immortal lotus root to save my senior sister. Don't try to fool me. And so he pointed his finger at the man. So you wanted to steal a blissful token to sneak into the blissful sect and save your little sister, right? That's right, because I'm a genius. Still, this kid's method isn't half bad. But where am I supposed to find a blissful token? The man's eyes widened in surprise. How did you know? As they were talking, a loud noise echoed from the ceiling of the cave, accompanied by swirling purple smoke and an eerie light. Along with a mocking voice, I knew that beneath this boundless desert, there had to be a hidden grotto. A skinny man and a fat man appeared. From the looks of them, they weren't here to make friends. One of them added, it seems this is the hideout of the Dusa clan. Hearing this, Tian Yuan felt dizzy and asked, isn't that my line? The two men floated in the air, speaking in an arrogant, theatrical tone. So the remnants of the Dusa clan are hiding here. Capturing them all will be a great achievement. Just thinking about the blissful tokens we'll get is making me tremble with excitement. The man Tian Yuan had mistaken for a bandit panicked internally. It's over. The battle from earlier must have drawn them here. This is the pressure of the profound realm. I can't possibly win on my own. Best case scenario, I can trick these two. Damn it. I guess I'll have to use the self-pity trick. Dian Nguyen, still bewildered, silently wondered where this pervert came from. Li Duong walked towards him and Fei Hua. Fellow cultivators, this humble one has a request. Please take the children and go. I, Li Duong, fear I will die in this place. But the children are innocent. They are the last hope of the Du Sa clan. After saying this, he immediately lunged towards the two men. You perverts die. But I've already gone this far with my speech. Anyone would be compelled to help me. Besides, it seems these two also have a grudge against the Elysium sect. The skinny one sneered contemptuously, just a minor foundation establishment cultivator. And you want to challenge those above your station? The fat one added in a chilling, vulgar tone. You like being abused, huh? I'd love to oblige. Immediately after, both of them shot arrows wrapped in demonic energy towards him. Li Duong, tightly bound, felt a knot in his stomach, wondering, why isn't he helping me yet? It hurts so much. My bones feel like they're about to break. The demonic energy ropes of the Elysium sect members tightened so much that Li Duong's clothes were torn apart, revealing the face and body of a woman. Seeing this, the two men's eyes lit up. Their expressions turned lustful. Well, now a rare piece of goods. Very tasty. The fat one rushed forward. Let me inspect her first. The skinny one stood calmly behind and reminded him, when you're done breaking her, give her to me. The woman cried out in pain, Animals! Just in the nick of time, a hand firmly gripped Li Duong's wrist. All right, This is just a small punishment for your deception. Dien Nguyen looked straight into her eyes and said clearly, although I really hate this kind of hypocrisy, this trick of yours really does work on me. The fat guy who was getting excited had his tasty morsel snatched from right under his nose and grew irritated. Trying to play the hero saving the damsel, are you? The other skinny one saw Dien Nguyen holding a golden hoe between his legs and burst out laughing mockingly. Do you have to ride that ridiculous magical tool just to fly? The fat one clutched his stomach, howling with laughter. Help me! I'm being challenged by a mortal who's punching above his weight. Dien Nguyen's face darkened, only his eyes glinting sharply. Is it that funny? Then let me open your eyes to the methods of a mortal. He swung his arm forcefully to one side and yelled, Fei Hua combine, seeing no reaction. Dien Nguyen looked over and saw Fei Hua hiding far in a corner. He asked, What are you doing hiding so far away? She declared bluntly, I refuse to fight with these disgusting things. I'll transfer my spirit power to you. You handle it yourself. Seeing this, the two men gloated and continued to mock him. So you have to rely on a woman. Your useless appearance is a total turn-off. In a bit, we'll let you experience the pleasures of life. Dien Nguyen pursed his lips in thought. Forget it. In the past, with the support of Fei Hua's spirit power, even a mortal like me could create unique techniques. I might as well take this opportunity to see what level I'm at. Can I defeat a Xuan Core cultivator? Just then, the aura within him began to explode. The fat guy had already thrown a punch right in front of his face, yelling, Die! His voice rang out, Force pull spirit sphere. A brilliant purple light filled the cave. Fei Hua, who was standing on the sidelines, was also startled. Her eyes widened as she watched. She slowly approached the site of the fierce battle. The spirit power is flowing so fast, there's no mistaking it. Staking. He's using spirit power to create his own techniques. After a round of attacks and counterattacks, Dien Nguyen landed with Li Duong slung over his shoulder, who looked on in admiration. Your magic is terrifying. Benefactor, what is your cultivation level? But I don't have a cultivation level. I'm just a mortal. You can put me down now. This is embarrassing. The fat and skinny guys were now each stuck to a corner of the wall. Dien Nguyen looked at the two of them and laughed with satisfaction. This power even scared the hell out of me. This is great. Now all the techniques I created in my novels can be brought to life in this world. Fei Hua finally stepped out slowly. She didn't hold back her praise. I guess you have some skill. When I, your empress, revive the spirit clan, you will be my #1 henchman. As soon as Dien Nguyen saw her, he frowned and said, Hey, let's get something straight. You and I are partners, not master and servant. Fei Hua threw a tantrum and yelled, How ungrateful! Dien Nguyen didn't hold back and shot back, Stop looking for trouble. Li Duong straightened her clothes and spoke warmly. My two benefactors, since you possess such wondrous methods and a divine art of dual cultivation, may I ask about your origins? This humble one will definitely repay you. Dien Nguyen and Fei Hua retorted in unison. It's not dual cultivation. It's not dual cultivation. Fei Hua suddenly remembered the scene where their lips touched. Her heart grew even more chaotic. Even though it looked a lot like it, it doesn't count. Dien Nguyen cleared his throat to change the subject. Stop asking questions. I don't need you to repay me. This place has been exposed. We need to pack up our things and leave quickly. She winked and smiled brightly. Benefactor, you took action because of the Elysium token, right? Don't tell me you also want to sneak into the Elysium sect. Dien Nguyen answered without hiding anything. Something like that. Let me be clear, I'm also going there to save someone. I won't have the extra energy to save your little sister. Li Duong took out a piece of paper and smiled radiantly. Benefactor, you're being too modest. This humble one truly just wants to express her gratitude with this small gesture. This is a partial map of the Elysium sect. It also includes a portrait of my little sister. She's super adorable. Dien Nguyen's face fell as he grumbled, Isn't this just another way of asking me to save someone? She moved closer to him and said softly, Don't be so distant. As long as we coordinate from the inside and out, this won't be difficult. Benefactor, would you like to hear my plan first? Dien Nguyen looked at her, thinking to himself, How did she become like a completely different person? Li Duong pointed to the spot on the map and explained, This is the weakest point with the fewest guards. Benefactor, using that move you just did, you can blast open a large hole, and we can escape from there. Dien Nguyen asked worriedly, causing such a huge commotion. Ship pursuers will be on our tail in no time, right? She continued her analysis. That's the second step. After we move everyone, I will transform this area into an underground labyrinth, setting up formations everywhere. My Dusa clan uses talismans to set the traps. They can trap even those at the Heaven-Earth Mystic or Yellow realms. And finally, this is my little sister. So, Benefactor, are you willing to help us? After this is all over, whether it's repaying you with my body or with the secret treasure of the Dusa clan, it's all fine. Din Nguyen answered bluntly without hesitation. We'll see how it goes. And as for repaying me with your body, forget it. He took the map and sighed. All right, I've pretty much memorized it. Whether we can find her or not will depend on fate. I hope the secret treasure you mentioned actually exists. But inwardly, he was actually a bit annoyed at having to shoulder yet another responsibility. I'll take it one step at a time. Still, the cultivation system of this Dusa clan is really unique. I'm truly curious what their secret treasure is. Li Duong smiled and said with sincerity, Thank you, Benefactor.
You're so honest, Benefactor.
The three of them set off together. When they reached a certain spot, she spoke up. Benefactor, I can only take you this far. Only take you. Go forward for 3 miles, and with the Elysium token, you'll be able to enter the sect's Grand Protection Formation. I'll hide here and wait for your signal, Benefactor. Dien Nguyen also carefully instructed her. All right. You be careful, too. Don't get caught. Meanwhile, Fei Hua was grumbling to herself in annoyance. How dare they make this empress wear these clothes? You'll pay for this. Suddenly, Li Duong called out, Wait! Dien Nguyen stopped immediately and asked, What's wrong? She gently drew a line of magical script on the cloak. This is a blessing talisman from our Dusa clan. May the moon goddess protect you, benefactors, and keep you safe. Turning back, Dien Nguyen waved in thanks. We're off. The woman watched them leave, her heart filled with extreme unease. What's wrong with me? Why do I have this slight hope that they won't go?
That place is too cruel.
But she quickly regained her senses.
No. This is the only chance to rescue my sister.
After walking for a while, the two of them encountered a man with lips the color of lotus petals. The man with the bizarre face spoke up. You two are new here, aren't you? Your clothes are too conservative. You're not qualified to attend the Elysium ceremony. Dien Nguyen and Fei Hua, fuming, retorted, You call this conservative? What? An enraged Dien Nguyen pointed to a girl standing not far away. No, wait her! Isn't she dressed even more conservatively? I'm extremely confident in my style. The girl he pointed at turned around, smiled, and asked, Me? She seemed to have a sense of humor, joking in a teasing tone. I'm transgender. See my sexy beard? After saying that, she strode straight inside. I'll be going on ahead. The gatekeeper bowed and gestured the way. Please enter. Dien Nguyen was petrified while Fei Hua stood frozen, wondering to herself, Are all these people idiots? Furious, Dien Nguyen tried to prove his worth, growling in a threatening tone. So can I go in or not? Xing Nu fell silent, doubtful. It really is the heritage of our sect. The Purple Passion Heart Sutra. The movements are just a bit unfamiliar, and the Elysium token is very active. Go on in. As Dien Nguyen walked in, he complained uncomfortably. Performing that, it's no different from taking a crap in front of everyone. Fei Hua praised him unexpectedly. You learn so quickly. You truly are a fish from the same school as that old dog Ziyun. Just then, Xing Nu suddenly stopped them. Hold on, you still haven't demonstrated your unique skill. The token alone is not enough. She said coldly, full of contempt. Fat pig, get your filthy hand off me or I'll make you wish you were dead. He trembled and bit his nails. Oh, we're screwed. We haven't even gotten inside and she's already started a fight. Xing Nu blushed, showing his admiration. So you're the dominatrix queen of our sect? I'm drooling already. Full of respectful adoration, Xing Nu said, Please hurry inside. Dien Nguyen was utterly bewildered. That actually works. He excitedly tried to arrange a date. After the ceremony, come find me. My name is Xing Nu. Fei Hua gave him a disgusted glare. How nauseating. He jumped in to tease her. Seems like he's really into you. Meanwhile, in the inner hall of the Elysium cult, Ba Gang yelled out, Cult leader! The leader, a woman, slammed her hand on the table in fury. Fei Ba's life tablet has shattered. You must avenge me. He was my favorite, Ku Cha calmly explained. When a life tablet shatters, the person is either dead or crippled. A pitiful fate either way. There's no need for you to be so agitated. Ba Gong roared in fury. Then what are we supposed to do? He wasn't your subordinate anyway. The old man pointed in a panic. You vicious woman, stop. Just then, an unexpected shattering sound rang out. Ku-cha wailed in grief. That sounded like the life tablet of Mogan, my most prized disciple, with you dead. Whose lifespan am I supposed to absorb now? The woman clutched her stomach, laughing gleefully. Serves you right. That old man glared furious. You bastard! Who are you saying deserved it? I can't take this anymore. I'll deal with you right now. Wuji spoke with stern authority. Silence, all of you. His stern threat made them fall quiet. You are all masters of your branch sects. How can you lose your composure like this? Ba Kuang hesitated nervously. But, Wuji mused sinisterly, the bliss ceremony is approaching. Many sects have yet to submit to us. They'll use this as an opportunity to sneak in. I'm certain the one who harmed our alliance's disciples, is hiding within our alliance right now. At that time, we'll catch them all in one net, uncover their origins, and take over their sects. The cultivation technique you two practice requires a great deal of living souls. Am I wrong? This time I'll let you all go wild. I've been craving this. It's been so long since I've had buns stuffed with cultivators. Kutra was ecstatic. The materials for my alchemical furnace have been found. Wuji was thrilled with anticipation. I wonder what kind of fun this year's bliss ceremony will bring. He was very much looking forward to it. At the same time, on the main peak of the Bliss Alliance, Dian Nguyen nervously scanned his surroundings. The Bliss Alliance is certainly imposing, but the moment I think about how all these well-dressed people are perverts, it makes me sick. He anxiously contemplated his plan. But the priority right now is to find the whereabouts of the immortal lotus root. The arena tournament and the auction are both places where the immortal lotus root might show up, but the highest chance is that it's inside the sect's treasury. I'm afraid the two of us can't watch over that many places at once. Just then, Hu Kan's arrogant voice rang out. Hey, you two, stop! She commanded rudely. Bring that meat over here for me. What kind of damn bliss ceremony is this? There isn't even enough food here to get stuck in my teeth. He bowed in surprise, his mind filled with questions. You are... Is she thinking I'm a servant of the Bliss Alliance? She introduced herself boastfully. I am the great Hu Kan, a treasured guest invited by your alliance leader. Now hurry up and take me to the treasury. We want meat to eat. Dian Wen was stunned into silence. If she wants to go, then I want to go too. Fei Hua whispered a warning. Don't provoke her. Her cultivation is only at the mid-earth realm, but her physical body is incredibly powerful. I know you want to trick her into talking, but there's a strange aura about her. I advise you to be careful. He frowned, thinking to himself, this little rascal disguised as a boy is this strong. Could she be some old monster from a body-cultivating clan? But the more suspicious she is, the bigger the opportunity. If our goals are the same, I might as well take a gamble and try to get her on our side. Dian Nguyen replied respectfully, Very well. This one will lead you to find some meat, esteemed one. Hu Kan ordered decisively, Lead the way. After arriving, he stopped and glanced back at her. She frowned, suspicious. This doesn't look like the treasury. Dian Nguyen shrewdly lowered his voice. You're right, this isn't the treasury. And perhaps you aren't really looking for meat either, are you, esteemed one? Hu Kan flew into a rage. What do you mean by that? Are you trying to make a fool of us? Certain now, he calmly soothed her. So my guess was correct. You're not really the Alliance leader's guest, are you? Please calm your anger, esteemed one. It wouldn't be good to attract the attention of the Bliss Alliance people, she asked, stunned. You're not from the Bliss Alliance. Dian Nguyen lowered his voice, feigning a confession. I am Wang Yuan. I came here looking for the treasury just like you. But since you're so straightforward, she must be easy to fool. Hu Chan pointed angrily. If you wanted to find the treasury, you should have asked a servant. Why did you come to me? I tricked him so I could find food. He gave a strained laugh in response. A servant. What servant would ever tell you where the treasury is? And who would believe you're going to a treasury to find food? Has all that training turned your brain to mush? In that case, I'll have to use this to my advantage. She scowled and pressed him. If that won't work and this won't work, then tell me what other way is there? Dian Nguyen gleefully pulled out a flyer. Naturally, you'll have to cooperate with me. Esteemed one, take a look. He read the contents aloud. The Bliss Cup Tournament. The victor may choose one treasure from the treasury. Hu Kan raised an eyebrow knowingly. You think I haven't considered that? The thing I want isn't on the list of rewards. Dian Nguyen nodded in agreement. This is exactly where we need to cooperate. He excitedly explained his idea. You win the tournament, and when a servant goes to retrieve the prize, I'll follow them. And just like that, we'll know the location of the treasury, won't we? She pondered for a moment, then agreed. Right. A second later, Hu Kan asked suspiciously, But what do you get out of this? Dian Nguyen explained patiently, choosing his words. This girl is pretty sharp in some ways. You want to get into the treasury and I want the prize. It's that simple. You just have to help me win the immortal lotus root esteemed one, and I will get you to the treasury. What do you say? Upon hearing its name, she became excited and agreed. Deal. We'll be the Hu Kan Wang Yuan team, Fei Hua whispered nervously. You're really going to trust this simpleton to win, she sang cheerfully. Eat and drink till we're full, then go fight, cause chaos and loot. Now that's the life, he scoffed, with a body that powerful. If she's fighting cultivators at the same level who could possibly defeat her, Hu Tan shouted angrily, Wang Yun, what are you mumbling about? Follow us. Dian Nguyen scrambled to catch up. I'm coming. Just then, Xiao Tui called out cheerfully, Hey, greedy guts, haven't you warmed up yet? A disheveled and fearful instructor said, That's enough. Stop fighting. You're qualified for the match. What's your name? The crowd murmured amongst themselves. The demon instructor was defeated. Just like that. What's the story with that transmuter? I heard she uses goo arts. She was so excited as she made her formal debut. My name is Xiao Hui, and this is my goo insect partner, the gluttonous demon. He stood beside her, flexing his muscles. Let's leave that silly girl on the fighting stage. Are you sure you're not worried? Dian Yuan calmly replied, Worried. We're only in the top 16, the final match is still a long way off. He explained coolly, besides in all her recent matches, she knocked out her opponents with a single punch. It's a waste of time to keep watching. We might as well take a walk. Dian Yuan decided on his goal, the slave auction on the map. It should be right around here. She raised an eyebrow, teasing him. A slave auction, just taking a walk, are we? I think you want to save that girl from the Dusa tribe, don't you? He stopped and turned, gesturing. We're here. This is the place. Frustrated, Fei Hua furrowed her brow and thought to herself, We're already here. This kid is too naive, actually, thinking he can just go and save someone. If I don't keep him in check, he's going to cause trouble. Dian Yuan stood under the gate and spoke, A slave auction. An indispensable part of every cultivation story. She crossed her arms, confused. Since when do you have time to be thinking about stuff like this? A servant respectfully invited them in. Distinguished guests, please this way to the VIP room. He replied with a casual cheerfulness, As long as we're back in time for the finals, it's fine. The man was shocked, holding the money in his hand. High-grade spirit stones. Then the servant's eyes shifted down to his hip. An Elysium token. It's them. They were quickly seated to enjoy the show. Wow, Dian Yuan enjoyed himself excitedly. It really is great to have money. Just 2 high-grade spirit stones can get you this kind of treatment. Fei Hua glanced at him questioningly. Do you have any idea how many lives you could buy with 2 high-grade spirit stones? He answered nonchalantly, Well, it's not like I need them for my cultivation. I might as well buy a few defensive artifacts. Hearing this, she immediately wanted to get her fair share. In that case, I want some too. You have to pay. Just then, Qin Hao walked in and enthusiastically announced, Everyone, you've come at the perfect time. Next, I would like to introduce the latest invention of the Elysium League. The man pulled back the curtain, revealing the beastkin slaves. Dian Yuan narrowed his eyes and stared. Qin Hao proudly presented the details. Beastkin slaves are specially selected by our league's cultivators and created through a meticulous process combining our methods with the secret inscription arts of the Dusa tribe. The man arrogantly explained, These slaves have undergone modification and training. Not only are their bodies pure, but they also possess the wildness of a beast and the desires of a human, allowing their master to do less and enjoy more, filling them with excitement. He couldn't hold back and shouted, You filth! But Fei Hua reminded him sternly, Have you forgotten why we came here? Don't you want to save your senior sister anymore? Dian Yuan was both furious and trying to calm himself. Of course I know that, damn it, this is the Elysium League. I should have been mentally prepared for this. I have a ton of spirit stones. Just then, from above, Zijian raised his hand and spoke, Hey MC, will this type of slave injure people? Xin Hao smirked and invited, An excellent question. In that case, why don't you come down and try for yourself, fellow Taoist? The man agreed without hesitation. All right. The man advertised a magical potion. This is obedience water. Qin Hao instructed on its use. This potion was originally used on spirit beasts, but since beastkin are half human and half beast, his face darkened as he immediately recognized her. That's my way. The man laughed mockingly. Therefore, it's possible to control their bodies and make them obey orders while they are still fully conscious. Fellow Taoist, hurry down and try it! The pervert Zizhen ordered. Hurry up and take it off! He flew into a rage and rushed forward. You vile creature! Qin Hao stammered in fear. What do you think you're doing? Do you have any idea whose stage this is? Dan Yun didn't hesitate throwing down the spirit stones as he fumed internally. I'm buying all of these girls. Here's the money. I absolutely can't stand this. If I just let this go, who knows what else these bastards are capable of? The man's eyes lit up at the sight of the money, but he still feigned hesitation. 1,000 high-grade spirit stones. What a rich fool. This! The sly Qin Hao made a demand. I'll have to earn more! I won't have to worry about my KPI this year. What a huge stroke of luck. But this isn't in accordance with the auction's rules. You'll have to add more money, fellow Taoist. He gritted his teeth in anger. Are you telling me that you people going around kidnapping young girls is in accordance with the rules? Dian Yun attacked without warning. Fei Hua coughed in exasperation. You idiot, are you really doing all this for a mortal? Now the man was terrified, begging for his life. I'm just an employee. Don't kill me. With murderous eyes, he raised his weapon. I almost forgot. You disgusting, lecherous scumbag. Zizhen's legs went limp as he pleaded, Don't kill me. I was wrong. I was really wrong. She appeared with an air of authority, her voice threatening. To act so brazenly in my Elysium League. Are you trying to ruin my reputation? Fei Hua decisively sent him to the afterlife, then left. It seems the hero game has to end here. Little devil. At the same time, Blood Shadow strode forward majestically. You've got some skill. He arrogantly reassured the crowd. Fellow Taoists, there is no need to be alarmed. I am one of the 3 heroes of the Elysium League Blood Shadow. I will guarantee your safety. There is no need to wait. In just a moment, we can continue our delightful auction. Dian Nguyen worriedly asked, Are you hurt? She thoughtfully remarked, To think this human actually has such power. Outside the arena, Shu Kun jumped, asking, What was that commotion? She turned away in frustration. Who cares about him? I have to fight. The referee joyfully announced, Welcome back to the semifinals of the Elysium Arena tournament. Let's welcome the competitor from the red team, Master Shu Kun. A fervent fan screamed, Master, I love you. Master, you're the best. He continued the introduction. And on the other side is the dark horse who appeared out of nowhere, the competitor from the blue team Xiao Hui and her insect partner, the gluttonous demon. She anxiously sized up her opponent. He's very strong. It said nothing, only chirping, protein, protein. The audience cheered wildly. Gluttonous demon, I want to have your babies. Xiao Hui, my wife. The referee formally cleared his throat. Excellent for our 2 competitors to have made it this far. Was truly no easy feat. So may I ask you both, after risking your lives to get here, what is the one treasure you desire most? They both shouted in unison. The immortal lotus, root treasure. He was stunned, commenting, What they have the same goal. In that case, this immortal lotus root treasure, who will be the one to claim it? The semifinals of the Elysium Arena tournament begin now, Wuji noted with excitement. This is really getting interesting. He brightly gave an order. Since Blood Shadow has made his move, Ba Gang, you go and deal with those 2 body cultivators. She smirked respectfully. As you command. A short while ago, Blood Shadow confidently faced the crowd. Everyone please be patient. Just wait for me to take care of these 2 thugs. And then we can happily continue with the auction. Din Nguyen decisively prepared for battle. Little sis, get behind me. Fei Hua combine. The little girl trusted him and stepped back. Okay. He rushed forward, commenting on their tactic, trying to use a bright light to blind me. Blood Shadow stabbed his sword forward contemptuously. Such a low-level trick. I don't even need to see to take your head. In the next second, the 2 of them had combined into a powerful suit of armor. He was bewildered, not understanding what was happening. This special protective armor, where did that woman disappear to? Could it be a dual cultivation technique? Something feels off. Blood Shadow realized he had been struck on the hilt of his sword. Not good. As he hastily ran, the other man reminded him, I hope I can trap him. Little sis, you seem to be running a little slow. He realized with a shock, this is demonic magic. The little girl helplessly and sheepishly apologized. Sorry, my body. I can't exert any strength. Blood Shadow raged with a powerful fiery aura. You rotten brat! You really think you can tie me up with some vines? Don't you know my other title? He furiously unleashed his power. I, Blood Shadow, am also called Fire Shadow. Den Nguyen was speechless. You know that title of yours is a copyright infringement. Right. Blood Shadow shot forward like a rocket, growling, Hand over the item. Just then, Fei Hua threatened in a stern voice, Hold it! If you take one more step, I'll kill her. He was bewildered by her actions. Are you crazy? Aren't you afraid Blood Shadow will actually take that step? Fei Hua replied with contempt, You idiot! How will we know if we don't try? Is he really going to give up his life for this mere mortal? He raised his hands, pretending to surrender. Stop. Don't hurt her. We can talk this out. Dien Nguyen was naively stunned. It actually worked. Blood Shadow laughed smugly. Did you really think I'd say something like that? All right, this distance is good enough. He used a special magic item, the Sumeru Beast Taming Ring. Blood Shadow yelled, Get back here. Satisfied, he began to explain like a professional. That's right. Beast kin slaves aren't fundamentally considered people, so the Beast Taming Ring can store them as well. For all you valued guests, if you buy one but you're afraid your wife won't be happy, you can simply hide them inside this ring. The crowd murmured in admiration. Now that's a good feature. This Blood Shadow guy is a veteran salesman. He's totally sold me on it. He smugly promised, After I've dealt with this troublemaker as an apology to everyone, the remainder of the auction will be 20% off. This is a limited time offer. They became uncontrollably excited. I want to buy one, take my spirit stones. If you don't buy this, are you even a man? Elysium Arena Mass produced these things already. This old master wants to buy 10. Seeing the situation was turning bad, Fei Hua signaled, Hey! The plan failed. We have to retreat now. He remained silent, murmuring, How can they treat another human being like an animal? She scolded him in disappointment. Do you have any idea that stopping him just now pushed us to our absolute limit, this kid? He's making another mistake. Another? Fei Hua pointed a finger and continued to nag. You're looking to get yourself killed and you want to drag me down with you. Do you really have to be such a goody two-shoes? He's way stronger than that old dog Ziyun. Besides, like he said, that woman can't even be considered human anymore. Tian Yuan coldly shot back, And you think you can be considered human? She was left speechless, not knowing what to say. He sincerely stated his position, I don't care what you were before. Whether you were the demon empress or some other great demon, you might see it as us just using each other, but in my eyes, you're a person too. Fei Hua was bewildered, wondering to herself, This foolish kid sees me as one of his own? Tian Yuan stubbornly held to his principles. If you think I'm some kind of saint, then so be it. So he has this many tricks up his sleeve after combining. If I don't even try to save someone, it'll go against my conscience as a human being. He added sincerely, If one day you also fell into a situation like this, I would absolutely risk my life for you too. Suddenly, Blood Shadow appeared behind them, cutting in, What are you two whispering about? He sneered and slashed out, Go tell that to the King of Hell. Blood Shadow sensed something was off. This feeling, Did I miss? Tian Yuan sighed in relief. That was close. I almost lost my head. She warned him sternly, Focus. I've already saved you twice now. He thanked her, then raised his hand to attack. Thanks. Once I get the Sumeru ring back, we're leaving. Seeing the unfamiliar technique, he asked in surprise, You have a move like this too? Then Blood Shadow faced it head-on, creating a clone and shouting, Multi-layered fusion clone. He smirked provocatively. Let's see you dodge this. Not to be outdone, Tian Yuan yelled, Sword! The system immediately summoned the Cloud Copper Sword, detecting the host's new form, automatically assigning. He was stunned as he blocked the attack. A supreme-grade artifact. It automatically classified Cloud Copper Sword Peony type. He was amazed at the sword's new form. This is my golden hall. Injured Blood Shadow clutched his chest, coughing. The power of a supreme-grade artifact is truly formidable. In the end, the clone couldn't take it. But a second later, he flew into a rage, screaming, Blood Cloak, grand spell. The terrified crowd had no idea what was happening. Blood Shadow, what is the meaning of this? We are all your honored guests. He explained slyly, "Honored guests, no need to worry, I'm just borrowing your bodies for a little while.
After I kill this man,
I will be sure to return your corpses to your sects." He charged forward like the wind. "You monster, die!" But at the same time, at the tournament, Zhu Kun was panting heavily. Nearby, the gluttonous demon was also coughing violently. She praised him condescendingly, "To be able to trade blows with me. You're quite interesting." It struggled back to its feet. "Protein," but Xiao Hui acknowledged with praise, "You were even able to suppress my ancient fist style." "You're pretty strong," she asked curiously. "Hey, old-timer, why do you want the immortal lotus root? Are you trying to save someone too?" "Ha, save someone, my foot!" From a distance, Ba Gang watched, licking his lips with delight. "This time I've really hit the jackpot. To think that they're—" Shu Kun threw a powerful punch, sending the injured gluttonous demon staggering backward. Xiao Hui seized the opportunity and launched a lightning-fast kick. "Perfect chance!" She kicked straight down with the full force of a fierce insect-flying thorn, but just then the demon grabbed her by the ankle. She sneered, "Not even as strong as that little bug." Rage boiling over Shu Kun spun Xiao Hui around 360 degrees and roared, "Get off my stage!" In a fit of fury, she hurled her away. The referee commented frantically, "Contestant Xiao Hui was careless. Is the match about to be decided?" At that moment, as it caught her, she praised it gleefully. "Nice catch, Gluttony." It nodded in response. "Protein?" Shu Kun shrieked in frustration. "How is that thing still flying?" "What a cheeky move," the referee commented cheerfully. "But since contestant Xiao Hui isn't using her cultivation power, it's not against the rules." She seemed to realize something and shouted, "Now!" She asked suspiciously, "What tricks are you trying to pull now?" Xiao Hui and the gluttonous demon attacked in unison, shouting, "Take this!" This is the real fierce insect flying thorn. Shaken by the earth-shattering power, the referee couldn't see what was happening inside at all and could only comment in astonishment. Shu Kun cleared her throat. "Not bad at all. That actually stung a bit. It seems I'll have to get serious now." Xiao Hui's eyes were full of worry as she cautiously sized up the formidable opponent before her. The gluttonous demon also let out a sympathetic cry. The stunned referee timidly suggested, "This is impossible." The arena has been blown to smithereens. Perhaps you two esteemed masters could wait until the formation array is repaired before you resume the fight. If this continues, I fear an unimaginable disaster will occur." Just then, Ba Kuang decisively cut in fiercely, declaring, "No need to wait." I continued arrogantly, "Just let them challenge my champion title together." The referee objected in confusion. "But Lord Keat, this is against the rules. We should at least reset the battle formation." Ba Kuang flared up, growling, "You dare talk about rules with me, one of the 3 heroes of the Elysian Alliance?" He stammered in fear. No, I wouldn't dare, Lord Keat." "She called me Princess, Your Highness." Annoyed, I shoved the referee aside and landed aggressively on the stage. She explained calmly, "It's a small matter. I don't need to follow the rules, but as long as you two can defeat me, the champion title and the prize will still be awarded as usual. After all, why must a woman make things difficult for another woman?" Hukan was stunned, thinking to himself, "Strange. How did she see that this old man is a woman?" Even the gluttony ghost was startled. Trying Tue thought to herself, "Has my disguise been seen through?" Ba Kong challenged confidently, "No need to be surprised. I know full well that you two haven't used your full power yet. So will you attack together now, or do you need to rest for a bit?" The two of them charged forward in unison, replying in one voice, "Let's fight now. No rest needed." As soon as they touched, her Ba Kuang calmly stopped them. "Don't be in such a hurry, you two. Let me explain the rules first." She pushed them away and announced loudly, "The fighting area is the entire Elysian Alliance. Your cultivation base can be released at will." Ba Kuang casually swung her fist, coldly knocking Hu Chan far away. "As for how to determine the winner, it's simple. We fight to the death." Trang Tui shouted worriedly. "Master Hukan?" Ba Kuang, displeased, turned her attack towards her. "You still have the mind to worry about others." The gluttony ghost struggled to defend itself. Trang Tue anxiously cried out, "Don't even think about running." That woman viciously gave chase. "It's all right," she gently soothed the gluttony ghost. It seemed to understand and backed away. Trang Tue wondered in shock. She even shattered the gluttony ghost's outer armor. What kind of monstrous strength is this? Confused, she looked back. What was that noise? At that moment, a furious Hukan transformed into a giant roaring with rage. "How dare you touch my people and injure her so grievously?" She roared powerfully, unleashing a technique that shook the heavens and the earth. With one palm strike, Ba Kwang's face was flattened. The surrounding people were also affected by Hu's power. Khan was affected. Trang Tue cheered in admiration. "Master Hukan, you're amazing!" Hukan stared at her own palm in disbelief. "I missed impossible." That woman laughed loudly, affirming, "Why is it impossible? I'm using the Elysian Divine Roaming Step. This isn't something you can deal with using brute force alone." Suddenly, Ba Kwang stepped on a patch of oil and slipped, falling foolishly to the ground. Hutan sighed helplessly. "This moron. She clearly knows she's as slippery as an eel, yet she still stood right there." Trang Tue cleverly asked, "If she falls and dies on her own, does that count as our win?" Ba Kwang smirked sinisterly. "So you've let your guard down after all. In that case, I'll just have to use this move." She quickly curled into a ball and then bounced up with great force, using the momentum to attack Hukan straight in the face. Trang Tue wondered, could that be her cultivation technique? Ba Kwang attacked maniacally, her voice filled with hatred. "The pain of losing my subordinates! You will pay for it." In the silent hall of the Elysian Alliance, Kotra respectfully entered. Alliance Master Wuji was contentedly stroking a snake. "It seems your harvest was not small, Kwang." "Kotra!" he called out in a stern voice. The old man proudly recounted his achievements. "This old man has eliminated a total of 25 spies." Kotra reported the details. They came from the Thien Dien sect, the Hoang Long sect, the Shich Kui sect, and the Not Nuit sect. In particular, these four heads were used for a soul reading. Wuji praised him with satisfaction, truly worthy of being called True Master Kotra. "Yes, and what were the results of the soul reading?" The old man reported respectfully. "Reporting to the Alliance Master, we found nothing." He didn't seem very surprised and gave an order. "Very well. Perhaps these people famous in name only don't possess any ancient inherited secrets. After the ceremony is over, send people to annihilate their sects." Kotra hesitated and asked, "Yes, but this old man has a question. What does this so-called ancient secret have to do with the Bok Lin sect and aiding the great cause of our Elysian at Alliance?" Wuji slowly explained, "Since the true master has asked, do you know why the Bok Lin sect became the #1 sect it is today?" The old man answered without hesitation. "Of course, it's because the Bok Lin emperor is strong enough and his descendants have not brought shame to the family." He denied it, revealing a world-shaking secret. "You are not wrong, but the biggest reason is the power behind the Bok Lin emperor." Kotra was so shocked he broke out in a cold sweat. "The power behind him," Wuji explained in detail. "The current cultivation ranking system was established by the Bok Lin emperor. There are 8 levels in total, but above Heaven, Earth, Mystic, and Yellow are the universe, cosmos, primordial, and desolate realms of the heavenly immortals." He asked sternly, "The Bok Lin emperor, as the #1 cultivator in history, has only reached the primordial level. So who are the 2 realms above it, universe and cosmos, meant for?" The old man was startled, suspecting, could it be that the Alliance Master knows? Wuji smiled gently. "I'm afraid it's not just some high immortal. I would prefer to call them," he declared bluntly, "the primordial ancient gods." Wuji recounted the ancient legend. Legend says that all things in this universe are from the macrocosm of trillions of galaxies to the microcosm of every blade of grass and tree branch were all created by the ancient god clan. I do not know why they took an interest in our Huyen Nguyen realm, and I understand even less why they only chose a tiny Bok Lin emperor. But if I can find even a small clue about them, I will have the chance to reach a new level, perhaps even far surpassing the Bok Lin emperor himself. Kucha, stunned, collapsed to the ground. Alliance leader. You mean the creator gods actually exist, and the world we live in is nothing more than is, he confirmed without hesitation. That's right. It's just a toy, a grain of sand in their hands. And as for that invincible white spirit emperor, he's nothing more than a speck of dust on that grain of sand. Hearing this, Kucha's face went pale. It seemed he was starting to understand. You've had this old man endlessly purifying souls. Don't tell me you want to, Utsi affirmed with a greedy look. That's right. I want to overthrow that man by As long as I receive guidance from the ancient gods, forget the petty white spirit sect. Even this entire Zhuanyuan realm will be nothing. He leaned in close, taunting, "Getting scared, are we, master?" The old man stammered, I... Uzi goaded him, "Master, are you truly content to remain at the earth realm for the rest of your life? You must know anyone who reaches the wilderness realm is either recruited by the white spirit sect, or they're cut down and killed by them. Are you content to live your whole life depending on the scraps of others?" "No." Kucha waved his hands in fear. "No." Seeing that his prey had taken the bait, Uji smirked. He helped the old man up with a friendly demeanor. "Master, no need to be so tense. This secret is just between you and me." Kucha immediately promised, "This old man will be absolutely tight-lipped." "Yes." Uzi, satisfied, stressed, "That's good. Yes, I have great faith in your methods, master, but I am also a cautious man. Just do as I say and don't worry about our great cause failing." The old man replied respectfully, "Yes, I obey." Kucha then asked worriedly, "But, Alliance leader, this ancient secret will be truly difficult to find." Uji smiled, revealing a secret. "Is that so? I already have a few leads." He revealed the top secret information. First, there's Zhuang Hui. She possesses the secret arts of the ancient clans, not to mention the deeper details, just the ancient martial arts she practices is one of a kind. She must have had a great fortuitous encounter. Next, Wu Ji targeted the second person. Second is Shu Kun. Although he's only in the early Earth realm, he has mastered the Fa Tian Xiang Di technique. He also possesses a colossal primordial beast, one thought to be extinct. That is the signature technique of the Shu Kun clan. He then emphasized, and finally there's that gluttonous little devil. He has absolutely no cultivation to speak of, but he can refine his loved one into armor and unrecorded ancient technique. Uzi concluded with relish, "We just need to wait for Shui Ying and Ba Gang to kill them and purify their souls. Then all their secrets will be revealed." The old man feigned concern. If these three are so mysterious, perhaps this old man should go and lend a hand. He refused decisively. "No need. If they can't even handle this, then it's time to replace the three heroes of my Paradise Alliance." Wuji didn't forget to praise Kucha's role. "But this time, master, your contribution has not been small. Go to the Void Refining Chamber and claim your reward. The high-grade refining furnaces are inside. Take as many as you want to use." Kucha was overjoyed and hurriedly thanked him. "Really? Thank you, Alliance leader. This old man will go right away." "Here, here. This is your well-deserved reward. Go and raise your cultivation level quickly." Uzi instructed cheerfully while thinking to himself, "After all, it will all be mine again later anyway." In the heat of battle, Tian Yuan furiously unleashed a move. Immortal Peony mumbled in annoyance, "Why are these wastes as persistent as leeches?" "Oh, not at all," Shui Ying explained arrogantly. "My shadow corpses have strength equivalent to their original bodies when they were alive. The fact that you've held out this long is quite admirable." He declared arrogantly, "All right, playtime's over. It is time to send you to your doom." Just then, Tian Yuan panicked as he was ambushed by poisonous insects. Shui Ying contemptuously ordered his puppets, "Looks like you're out of tricks. Time to get out of the way. He can replicate them too." He retreated in shock as the puppets opened their mouths, swinging their chain hooks to surround and attack his body in unison. Fei Hua urgently reminded him, "Hey kid, whatever you do, don't lose consciousness. I've bet the entire revival of the demon clan on you." Tian Yuan frowned, thinking to himself, "This guy's techniques are too bizarre. How am I supposed to close this gap in our power?" He glared, his fighting spirit unwavering. "Fei Hua still believes in me. Her demon power is still flowing through my body. And the cloud movement sword hasn't given up either." Tian Yuan swung his sword with fierce determination. "It's not over yet. Now I'll show you how I turn the tables." He moved his sword like a hurricane, cutting a bloody path out of the encirclement. Fei Hua shouted a warning, "Watch out behind you." Tian Yuan bluntly unleashed the mortal peony technique. He thought angrily, "Still not stopping, huh? I can't use this move many more times," he analyzed worriedly. "If I can't sever this guy's connection to his technique, I'm afraid this is a dead end." He looked around and sighed helplessly. "I can't even break through the encirclement now, let alone deal with him being as fast as lightning." Shui Ying growled with pleasure. "I'm going to enjoy slowly playing you to death." Suddenly, an idea flashed through Tian Yuan's mind. That's right. Lin Shu appeared with a message. It seems you've figured out a way to break this deadlock. He smirked doubtfully. Let's see if your little trick actually works. Tian Yuan decisively unleashed the mortal peony technique. Wei Ying burst out laughing mockingly. A familiar skill, isn't it? You can't even make me explode, so don't waste your energy. He ordered his lackeys to spread out. Don't get caught in the blast. He then focused his power into the flower on his chest. Each small blossom suddenly grew into a giant tree. They grew majestically in just a few minutes. Intense streams of energy shot out from the pistils of the flowers. Seizing the opportunity, Dian Nguyen leaped high into the air. Huyedan was shocked, not understanding what was happening. Huyedan whipped his head around in alarm. Impossible! That brat is behind me. It's too late. Without another word, he landed a thunderous kick on his face. The powerful kick sent Huyedan flying 10 meters away. Giving his opponent no time to breathe, Dian Nguyen continued his relentless assault. He unleashed a series of combination attacks, making Huyedan scream in agony. Dian Nguyen landed lightly on the ground. Fi Hua praised him happily. Well done, he panted and muttered. This form puts a considerable strain on the body. Dian Nguyen blushed as he realized the source of his inspiration. I can't believe those trashy novels I read in high school would actually be useful one day. They gave me a whole world of ideas. One story told of the year 2210 when the outer space bug race attacked the Earth fleet. Captain Lam Tu modified a gravity weapon into a warship engine. He single-handedly broke through the bug race's encirclement, slew the broodmother, and brought victory to humanity. In the end, because his reputation was too terrible, the system joyfully appeared with praise. Congratulations, host, for comprehending and utilizing the Mother Core. Your integrated battle armor has been fully upgraded. He was stunned, thinking to himself, so this is how you level up. Even the feeling of fatigue is gone. Fi Hua exclaimed in shock. You've broken through to the Earth realm. Din Nguyen calmly replied, you could say that. But maybe it's not exactly the same. My spirit power is recovering. I finally have a chance to break this stalemate. At the same time, Huyedan roared in anger. You rotten brat! Don't think you can beat me just because you had a breakthrough mid-battle. He continued contemptuously with a line that made him burst out laughing. I will crush you in the most brutal way possible. Dian Nguyen leaned on his hand and said mockingly, Still looking for a way to die, huh? Fi Hua warned cautiously. Don't get cocky. That guy is at the peak of the Earth realm. His cultivation level suppresses yours. Feeling looked down upon Huyedan unleashed his final move. Fire shadow power fully released. He transformed into a ferocious form ready for a decisive battle. It's now 500 degrees around me. Let's see how you get it close now. Making me expend my life essence to activate my strongest state. You've got some nerve, kid. The system sounded a frightened alarm. Host critical danger detected weakness level run. I know. He nodded. Go die. Huyedan mercilessly lunged forward. Dian Nguyen was stunned, suddenly thinking of the others. If I run, what will happen to those girls? She cried in confusion. Is there anything I can do to help? He swung his sword to block the blow. That guy taunted him scornfully. It's useless. Relying on that broken sword. Let's see how long you can last. A system enthusiastically cheered, Go, host, go. Dian Nguyen sighed in disappointment. What a useless system. I still have to rely on myself. But while dodging, he wondered, this is really dangerous. I don't have that fire weakness anymore, do I? Din Nguyen pinned his hopes on a gamble and shouted, Cloud motion sword! Huyedan laughed mockingly in excitement. Did I scare you so much that you're delirious? Have you resorted to begging your sword to surrender? He ferociously unleashed a finishing move. Let's see you dodge this evil flame Asura net. He gently called the girl's name. Van Dong, listen to me. Din Nguyen sincerely promised, In this life I will share half of my life essence with you. From now on, we are one symbiotic entity. He gently pleaded, Help me overcome this crisis. Van Dong obeyed, cooperating with him to draw a graceful arc. As you command, my master. A single steady sword strike made Huyedan cry out in horror. How is this possible? The girl said resolutely, her voice full of emotion. This sword strike of mine is a slash to seal our bond. Dian Nguyen was stunned by this enormous power. He softly called, Van Dong. The girl answered demurely, I am here. Dian Nguyen asked in confusion, A moment ago, It seemed like you said something. I didn't hear clearly. Can you say it again? Van Dong shyly denied it. My master must have misheard. This servant wouldn't dare speak out of turn. At this moment, Phi Hoa frowned. Excuse me, who might this be? He joyfully introduced her. She is the Cloud Motion Sword. And yet I can't see her cultivation level, she remarked. The girl said frankly, My name is Van Dong. I am a sword. Phi Hoa also introduced herself gracefully. My name is Phi Hoa. I am a flower. Dien Nguyen hesitated. I'm a human. Just then, the girl suddenly lunged and without hesitation stabbed straight at Phi Hoa. Miss Phi Hoa, have some self-respect and stay away from my master. The girl then asked innocently, My master? How did you see my true form? I have waited for so long that I forgot I was a sword. He answered awkwardly, Well, that was actually just a gamble. Let's just say I got lucky. I saw that big eye blinking over and over. There's no way it could be an inanimate object, right? Actually, there's another reason. In the local Xiangxia novel, Ling, that I wrote, weapons can take on human form, Van Dong said happily. It seems even luck is on my master's side. As expected of my master, I believe it won't be long before you comprehend all of my abilities. He was lost in thought. His face flushed. It's not just about comprehending abilities. Later in the book, they even develop feelings for each other. What are you blushing for? Phi Hoa snapped angrily. Oh, right. Your broken sword dared to touch me. The girl calmly feigned ignorance. Oh, you're still here, Flower Fox. Dien Nguyen quickly intervened. Stop pinching her. That's right, we have to save little sister first. In the end, they found one of Hoyat An's severed arms on the battlefield and rescued little sister. The gluttonous ghost looked on in horror as Ba Kuang gathered a surging power right above its head. As her muscles tensed up, Trang Tue quickly pulled it away. Don't just stand there gawking. As the green light faded to a mere afterimage, the enemy's demonic power crashed down violently. At that moment, she was supporting the gluttonous demon. Quick, eat this origin pill! But it only let out a weak cry. Protein. While Ba Kuang emerged from the cloud of dust with a ferocious look. Giving such a fine medicinal pill to a beast? What a waste, the gluttonous demon whispered as it absorbed the immortal energy. But Trang Tue coldly tilted her hand and fed it the spiritual medicine. Don't move. Your wounds are serious. Leave the rest to me. It continued to murmur. As she used a small vial to suck it inside, she reassured it. Don't worry. If I lose, how can I save Master? Just get some rest. This will all be over soon. Suddenly, a contemptuous voice rang out from amidst Hukan's struggling form. Even that little imp with its heaven and earth manifestation was destroyed by me. Without that beast, how can an early-stage Earth Realm cultivator like you fight against someone at the peak of the Earth Realm like me? As soon as those words left her mouth, an immense power erupted from Trang Tue, shattering the ground around her. She roared, It's more human than you are. Where is the immortal lotus root? Tell me now or wait until I beat you to a pulp before you talk. Hearing this, Ba Kuang licked her lips menacingly. You want the immortal lotus root? If you win, I'll give it to you. Let's see if you have what it takes. Trang Tue decisively touched her chest, causing her body to explode with astonishing power as her heart meridian erupted. With veins bulging all over her body, she charged towards the other woman and landed a devastating kick. Ba Kuang's eyes widened in horror. What kind of demonic speed is this? Without stopping, she stretched out to launch another strike. A second later, Tu Tue delivered a kick across her face, causing her to spit blood. Then she decisively furrowed her brow and gritted her teeth. Raising her hand, she thought, I have to end this quickly. As countless blows rained down on her, Ba Kuang couldn't believe it. What kind of monstrous strength is this? How can she actually injure me? Then the woman straightened up and unleashed her power. Ba Kuang angrily pointed at Tu Tue. Little imp, do you want your meridians destroyed and to become a cripple? This next move will end it. You won't have a good ending either. But she remained resolute. I have a reason why I cannot lose. Flashing back to a hazy memory, Tu Tue was crying as she looked at the frail person on the bed. Master? At that moment, a senior sister came forward to explain, Junior sister, if you use the immortal lotus root to save Master's life, he'll turn into a demon. Besides, the Elysian underworld is incredibly dangerous. Don't entertain such foolish thoughts. Then the disgusted and angry faces of the other Marshall brothers appeared. That's right. Do you want Master to turn into a monster? Stop torturing, Master. Let him pass away in peace. Go on, take that strange insect of yours and get out of the sect. In the end, she had no choice but to leave. Gluttonous demon. Let's go save Master together. The creature responded as usual. 15 years ago, Master had gently brought Tio-Tue some fruit. Little too gluttonous demon, come eat some fruit. She had happily reached out. Yes. The one beside her kept murmuring the familiar phrase. Back in the present, Tio-Tue wiped the blood from her mouth. Master was the one who accepted an outcast like me. Even if he becomes a demon, he will always be my master. She spoke resolutely. Even if I must sever my path of cultivation from this day forward. I must get that immortal lotus root. But now Ba Kwang's body had become monstrously large and dangerous. So you do have some skill after all, forcing me to activate my Elysian adamantine body. Not even a heaven realm cultivator could necessarily break my defense in one strike. Little imp, prepare for your demise. But Tio-Tue, with spiritual energy swirling around her, stepped forward. You're the one who needs to prepare for her demise. A terrifying blow from Tio-Tue landed squarely on her chest, causing Ba Kwang to spit blood once more. That immense power even blasted through a house in the distance. Even as she lay wretchedly on the ground, she couldn't believe it. How can this be? My defense can block a strike from the heaven realm. How could you possibly break through it? Meanwhile, she ignored the dust cloud behind her and walked steadily forward. I've won. Give me the immortal lotus root. The other woman coughed weakly. Ba Kwang sat up, holding something in her hand. I haven't lost, I don't care, I want you dead. This shocked Tio-Tue. Oh no, it's a great reversion pill. She was suddenly restrained by a giant hand. I knew you wouldn't behave. Hutan let out a crazed, terrifying laugh. Got you! Ba Kwang immediately grew terrified and begged for mercy. You're not dead. Stop squeezing, it hurts. The sight made her overjoyed. Master Hukan, are you all right? He grew even more dark and furious. Die. This lord was just closing his eyes for a quick nap. Lucky for me, these two lasses were here, or I'd have never caught you. Now the person in his hand was panicking. Don't kill me. It's just an immortal lotus root, isn't it? I'll send someone to the treasury to get it. But he didn't trust her and ordered, You're not an honest person. You will take me to the treasury. Feeling the hand tighten, she hastily complied. Stop squeezing, put me down. I'll go. I'll do whatever you say. Now standing by the eaves, Tio-Tue saw a swirling cloud of spiritual energy and dust and Ba Kwang being dropped to the ground. Then Hukan domineeringly threw the immortal object forward. Little imp, this is for you. As it landed, she reached out and caught it, confused. Master! They ignored the woman panting on the ground as he continued to speak. Hurry up and undo that reckless state you're in. Eat this. It should help you recover quite a bit. Hearing this, Tio-Tue glanced at the vial in her hand. Thank you. As soon as she ate it, she felt a dense surge of energy, but she was confused. But why were competitors? Hukan leisurely crossed his arms. No reason. This lord just thinks you've got a lot of heart, so I've taken a liking to you. But inwardly he thought, this girl was willing to damage her own foundation just to protect her spirit beast. It seems human cultivators aren't all bad after all. Tio-Tue ate the immortal medicine still full of doubt. Let me say this up front. Even if your grandfather helped me, I'm not giving up the immortal lotus root. Hearing this, she immediately turned her head and cut him off. Fine, you can have your stupid immortal lotus root. My goal is to get to the treasury. The other person confirmed again, You're really giving it to me. Shukun didn't bother to answer, just clicking her tongue. Why isn't that Dien Nguyen brat here yet? A second later, she shouted in frustration, I don't care anymore. The two of us will just go to the treasury first and figure it out from there. At that, she happily agreed. The devious Shukun held an iron chain restraining the fat pig Ba gang to lead the way while Xiaohui was overjoyed. This is great. Master can be saved now. A deep blue sky with fluffy white clouds drifted high above. The scene of utter destruction before him left the man stunned. Good heavens, what happened here? Someone remarked, This must be the work of a sword cultivator. Another sighed softly. How terrifying. Even the mountain behind it has been sliced clean through. Just then, among the hiding figures, a disciple urgently said, Hurry! The cultivation hall is under attack. Let's go help. The other two quickly replied, right. Suddenly, Fei Hua spoke with a bored tone, startling the person beside her. Don't you have that sword? You could just kill your way through. Why waste so much effort on this disguise? Dian Nguyen replied with a look of helplessness. Do you think power comes without a cost? In just a moment, Van Dong used up all the sword essence she had accumulated over the years. He suddenly thought of the person in the cloak. Right now, my life and Van Dong's are one. It's best to let her rest. From here on, we can only rely on ourselves. Hearing this, Fei Hua just clicked her tongue. Fine, whatever. Dian Nguyen then gently patted the head of the little girl beside him. It's going to be very dangerous. You must stick close to me so we can meet Sister Li Tang. Got it. The girl nodded obediently. Suddenly, he had a grim thought. I think Li Tang said she would give me something for rescuing her little sister. What was it? Some secret treasure of the Dusa clan. Whatever. The immortal lotus root for saving senior sister is more important. Then he said aloud, let's go. Arriving at the arena inside the void refining pool of the Blissful Alliance, Kucha, who was focused on absorbing life force, exclaimed in surprise, What, both Blood Shadow and Ba Gang have been defeated? A subordinate respectfully confirmed, Yes, Master Kucha. Right now, they're all near the Blissful Arena. He cursed furiously. What a pair of useless fools. Kucha disappointedly clenched his fist. To be defeated by some nameless brat. They've truly disgraced our alliance. He stood up from the soaking pool. He gave a decisive order. You take care of the remaining medicine in the void refining pool. I, Kucha, will go deal with them. The subordinate obediently replied, Yes, sir. Just then, at the great arena of the Blissful Alliance, a confused Kucha rushed about searching. What in the world is going on here? He angrily demanded, Where is Ba Gang? Why is the arena in this state? The surrounding minions were wailing in agony. So painful. Without hesitation, Kucha grabbed one of them. You get over here! He questioned him furiously. Quick, tell me what happened here. The soldier trembled as he recounted the situation. Reporting to the Master Champion, Ba Gang was threatened by two villains who killed their way to the treasury. Our disciples from the law enforcement hall couldn't stop them at all. They worriedly asked, Master, in a situation like this, shouldn't we report to the Alliance leader first? Kucha scornfully rejected the idea. No need if I can't even handle a small matter like this. What kind of champion would I be? How could I help shoulder the Alliance leader's burdens? All 1 million disciples follow me to the treasury. We must deal with this thief. The crowd around him quickly began to flatter, Yes, the Master is wise and mighty. At that moment, he confidently declared, The Alliance leader's magical artifact can see everything. This is the perfect opportunity for me to show what I'm made of. At the same time, Dian Nguyen and Fei Hua were peeking from behind a door. They've left. He gravely summarized the situation. You heard all that, didn't you? Master Shukun isn't here. Some group threatened a champion from the Blissful Alliance and headed to the treasury. Now all the top masters are going there. Then Dian Nguyen solemnly presented a new idea. The plan has changed. We'll have to take a risk. She toyed with her hair, seeing through him. From the look on your face, you've already come up with something, haven't you? He nodded in confirmation. Exactly. If the other party could capture a champion alive, their strength must be immense. With a mighty figure like that fighting, we can use them to do our dirty work and take advantage of the chaos. Fei Hua praised him with delight. This empress was thinking the exact same thing. For a little brat, you're quite good at adapting to the situation. You just want to watch the cultivators slaughter each other, don't you? Right. Dian Nguyen urged, Everyone outside is long gone. Let's follow them. But she suddenly stopped him. Hold on. He was confused as Fei Hua abruptly summoned tree roots. What is it? She declared with a hint of shyness. This empress is going to replenish your demonic power. Before Dian Nguyen could even react, vines had already bound his legs. So suddenly. He blushed bright red and struggled in a panic. Do you have to take everything off? Hurry, let me up. To make contact with a sacred wood body, direct skin-to-skin contact is naturally the most effective way to transfer demonic power. Damn it! That last battle used up all my energy. Can't break free. Just as he was about to speak up and stop her, Fei Hua didn't hesitate to cover his mouth with hers, pinning him down and firmly establishing her dominance. This empress is taking the lead here. 4. This empress can feel my body's desire for your sacred body. It's a real bargain for you helping me recover my power. The 3 beastkin slaves standing nearby asked innocently, "Big brother, big sister, are you two cultivating?" Displeased, Fei Hua used her magic on the little girl. "Adults are doing important work. Children should not interrupt." She quickly trapped the girl inside a rosebud. Fei Hua breathed a sigh of relief. There! The obstacle is gone! Her expression shifted to a cunning one full of excitement. Time for the real replenishment, no more pretending. Diane Yuan broke out in a cold sweat. "Didn't you say you were just going to supplement my demonic power?"
Why do I feel like I'm about to meet my ancestors?
Meanwhile, Li Tang stood in the middle of the desert observing from above. She silently noted, "My benefactor. They've been inside for several hours now. I wonder how they're doing." Just then, Li Tang suddenly noticed something strange. It was Ba and Qi. As they were cleaning up, one commented, "Master Kucha is really good at draining, isn't he?" Song Qing quickly added the details. "That's right. He's already exhausted so many cauldrons in such a short time." He judged curiously, "How long do you think these dregs will last?" The other replied with contempt, "They're all from the Drifting Sand tribe. They'll probably hold on for a few more hours." The people thrown down the cliff were barely breathing, crying out for water. Li Tang was enraged, vowing revenge. "Damn you, blissful sect, you want to roast my comrades to death under the sun. I have to act fast and save them while these bastards aren't looking." Song Qing asked nosily, "I heard there's a fight going on inside." "Let's not get involved." Ba sneered, suggesting, "Fine. How about we make a bet on how long these guys can last?" Hearing this, she gritted her teeth and cursed, "Animals to think they'd make a game out of people's lives. I can't let this happen. I promise to provide support for my benefactor, but my cultivation level is too low." The man fell silent, then looked intrigued. "I never thought this kind of hard labor could have its own unique pleasures." The other guy chimed in, "Isn't that the truth?" At that very moment, Ba and Qi saw a strange figure and shouted, "There's someone over there!" Li Tang's rage boiled over as she growled each word, "Today I will deliver heaven's judgment." At that time, Dan Yuan, looking like a dried fish, frowned and sighed. His face was haggard, his voice full of helplessness. "I was supposed to be getting an energy boost, so why do I feel so empty and weak? I thought I was finally going to graduate from virginity today. But this feeling of all teas and no meal is pure torture." Fei Hua, overjoyed, looked triumphant. "My power is restored. It's just as the data predicted. As long as this kid gets stronger, I can get stronger by absorbing it in sync. And now that I have that little human devil in my hands, this kid won't dare to defy me. Grow up quickly. This empress can't wait to return to my peak." When he arrived, he carefully sent a signal. "We're here. Don't make any sudden moves yet." In front of them were 2 factions, Kucha's and Shu Kun's group, who were holding a hostage. Ba Jiang screamed resentfully, "So you've finally shown up, you old geezer. Now hurry up and save this princess." Her captor, sharp-tongued, tightened the chains. "You talk too much, open the gate for me now." The old man praised them arrogantly. "Very brave. To dare act so arrogantly in the presence of Master Kucha." Shotwei stood her ground, challenging him defiantly. "Don't you dare go back on our deal. We won the arena match, open the gate now, and don't force us to get rough." After hearing her, the old man bluntly drew a line in the sand. "This fat pig is completely unworthy of being called a champion of the blissful sect. Kill her, chop her up, do as you please. But if you dare to have any ideas about the treasury, you'll be leaving your lives behind." Shukun threatened coldly. "Don't move." Ba Jiang, bewildered, lashed out, "Whose side are you on?" She gritted her teeth, her voice dripping with sarcasm. "From the sound of it, you're trying to frame a bunch of wild monkeys who don't keep their word." Shukun charged forward arrogantly. "Watch me take care of all of you." She viciously threw Ba Jiang's body. "Just go and die." Kucha, without a shred of mercy, cut her down directly. "Don't compare me to this fat pig, you little beasts. You will all die today." Dian Yuan wondered. Yuan, hiding behind a wall. Why are those 2 girls together? He stroked his chin, pondering deeply. Oh, whatever. If they're strong enough to capture a champion alive, then they might just be able to defeat this old man. I'll wait for the chaos and find a way into the treasury. At that moment, Kucha scornfully used his soul-searching secret art and declared, "Let this old man see what you're really made of." Before he could attack, Zhao Yun retorted sharply, "See what your own head is made of!" The old man gritted his teeth in anger. "You insolent brat!" Kucha boasted confidently as he quickly caught up. When it comes to speed, this old man is still a cut above you. He unleashed a terrifying power, the great soul-seizing technique. Her eyes turned white as she was absorbed by the attack. Deep in her subconscious, Zhao Yun remembered the distant past. At that time, a primordial presence manifested, issuing a decree. "Patriarchs of the human and beast tribes, hear this command. This is the only way you may contact me. You are forbidden from slaughtering one another. If you do, I will surely bring down heavenly punishment." Bai Ling bowed respectfully. "Yes, your disciple Bai Ling accepts the ancient god's protection. I will definitely lead the White Spirit sect to guide the Xuanyuan world to a new golden age." After that, Hukan humbly and cautiously said, "This humble one, Hukan, gives my thanks to the great ancient god. This humble one will definitely lead the primordial giant beasts and the human race to help one another." She nodded in satisfaction, then gave a careful reminder. "Very good, White Spirit Emperor and true man Hukan. You must remember the oath you made today. In 100,000 years I will appear again. We respectfully send off the ancient god." As soon as the words were spoken, the primordial beings quickly entered the spatial gate. He trembled and let out a sigh of relief. "So this is the pressure of a primordial ancient god." The man standing beside him agreed, replying, "That nearly crushed me." Hukan laughed loudly and teased, "You little brat, don't tell me you pissed your pants." Bai Ling angrily denied it. "Bullshit, you're the one who pissed yourself." He regretfully bid farewell, Brother Hukan, now that the Beast Clan also has a Heaven's Mandate token. "I can rest easy, but peace between our two clans is a long and arduous road. It's a shame we don't have time to drink and talk right now." He cheerfully gave a thumbs up. "This is a time for you to mature. You can't be lazy. Go on now. There will be many more opportunities in the future." As Bai Ling left, he called back, "Brother Hukan, take care. I'm leaving too." After everything was done, he let out a tired sigh. Just then Zhao Yun innocently tugged at the corner of his sleeve, calling out, "Father!" Hukan was startled and turned his head. "Zhao Yun?" she asked with curiosity. "Why is it that every time we meet Uncle Bai, you change into their form?" He gently stroked her head and explained, "The purpose, of course, is to eliminate the barriers between us. Zhao Yun has grown up too." Hukan gently explained the method. "When we have conflicts besides fighting, we can find other ways. For example, by taking on their appearance. To have a proper conversation." After hearing this, she had a blank look on her face, not understanding a thing. At that moment, he quickly changed the subject. "Oh, right, Father has a gift for you." Zhao Yun happily and eagerly asked, "Great, what is it?" Hukan held out the gift. Seeing the object before her, she exclaimed with delight, "It's a turtle." "Yes," he said with a smile, introducing it. "This is a little Bashia with no home to return to. From now on, she will be your little sister." Zhao Yun played happily while obediently replying, "Okay." Hukan seriously instructed, "You two must protect this Heaven's Mandate token well." She excitedly ran and jumped around. "What should I name you, little sister Bashia?" Sometime later, the forest was suddenly engulfed in flames. He clutched his chest on the verge of death and urged her on repeatedly. "Hurry!" Zhao Yun worriedly called out. "Father!" Hukan desperately screamed in despair. "Go now! Use the Heaven's Mandate token to summon the great ancient god. He revealed the crime in agony. The White Spirit sect has betrayed us." "The sky is full of cultivators. Father can hold on. Go quickly. I will hold them off." In his final moments, Hutan used all his strength to transform and stall them. She was stunned, sobbing as she fled for her life. Why is this happening? Zhao Yun choked back her tears, stubbornly believing, "There must be some bastards among the human race. Uncle Bai will definitely come to save Father and me." Just then, she tearfully called out her last hope. "Uncle Bai." Bai Ling stood before her aloof and cold. He mercilessly performed a spell, White Emperor's Slash. Bai Ling struck, cutting the stone tablet in half. Zhao Yun watched as it was split in two, the stone tablet. She collapsed to the ground in devastation. He gave a cruel and decisive order. "Disciples, hear my command. The Heaven's Mandate token has been destroyed. Slay Master Hukan. Take the giant beasts as prisoners. Xiao Yun's voice was filled with hatred as she growled, "The human race!" Returning to the present, Ku Zhuang was stunned by the images he had just seen. Without another word, she violently flung him away. Xiao Yun furiously cursed, "Damn human cultivators, you all deserve to die." Ku Zhuang was ecstatic. "So I really found it. The secret of the primordial ancient god." Her killing intent soared as she advanced menacingly. "You all deserve to die. The old man was terrified, calculating in his mind, "This girl. To think she holds so many secrets. But I dare not risk fighting an enraged primordial giant beast. I must report this to the alliance leader immediately." Kucha accepted his fate and then ripped off a piece of his own muscle. Although it was extremely painful, this was the only way to escape. He forcefully tore off a piece of his flesh. Kucha spat out a tooth and thought to himself, "During this time, all the blood essence I've absorbed has been poured into this. The two body parts have become living weapons. The flesh is the soldier, the tooth is the general." Xiao Yun didn't care. She just roared, "Kill!" At the same time, Xiao Hui, who was witnessing the event, frowned and wondered, "What a powerful aura. What happened? But why has Senior become so angry? I can't worry about that now. I have to help Senior get out of there." Just then, she ran into Ding Yuan, who was fleeing. He forced a smile and stammered a greeting. We meet again. And that's all for now. If you guys enjoyed it, please support me with a like, a subscription, and a comment. Thank you, everyone.